learn to skate on, right?
AU is not typically required.
Okay, sports on.
Yeah, so
Sports on.
sports on.
Okay.
Yeah. So there is that exception, but I like to enforce anyone within here. Yes.
Would you be able to maybe create a document we could post on locker room doors, like you have in most other rinks, reminding people of the safe core rules?
Yes.
Would you be able to come up with something and send that to the board?
Yeah. The other thing that falls under the safe sport rule is cell phones, and that's something that I really push is cell phones.
Yeah.
Like there's not supposed to be any photos, videos, recordings of any type in the locker rooms. I typically tell the kids, one kid can designate a phone to listen to music, but I know that gets relaxed sometimes in certain situations.
So, Sam, if you go to the dashboard, and then go scroll down, volunteers, when people sign up on that and dictate what position they're being, that's what triggers Lori to make sure they have the subject correct.
Yeah, so anything that anybody registers through on our website goes through the registration, goes through Lori. And she
So
will
if there's Sam driver, she's not gonna trigger a background check or whatever. But if they put locker room monitor,
Or
that's
team
wrong,
mom.
or team manager,
Yeah.
or will email them saying, you can get X, Y, Z, or you can tell you can be allowed to do it. That's not happening
And the other thing too with the locker rooms, there's always the question of who can be a locker room monitor. Any parent can be a locker room monitor. Typically, I like to see the same sex as the kids in the locker room, but that's a minor detail at the end of the day. I mean, I was locker room monitor for our team and had all boys except for one girl, and I stood literally in the doorway listening and watching for stupid stuff going on there. So,
I think that's one thing that a lot of people misconstrue about that is you don't have to be physically in the middle of the locker room. It has to be at the door within arm's length of the door. That way
or earshot of things going on. Like, I could tell the moment our team was doing something that they shouldn't have been doing. So, any other questions about safe sport and
Are you staying?
I will stay this year for sure.
That's what I was in for the whole meeting. I didn't know if you
Oh,
wanted
well,
to
we-
address that
yes,
right now,
I-
or
yes,
if
I
you wanted
think
to
that's-
wait until specialty positions
No.
to address that.
I will, just because there were so many things transpiring last year. I don't feel comfortable just dumping that on the next person coming up. And the other thing too is I know this year I was trying to find somebody to fill the spot. I would like to mentor somebody moving forward. So if you guys find somebody, I didn't have time this last year to find anybody. So if you guys have somebody in mind, I can try and find somebody as well. But I would kind of like to mentor them in a sense, just so they kind of get a feel for what they're getting themselves into. Because everybody does not know this position, I will tell you.
Do they have something to do that in the past? Does it have to be a club member?
It does not have to be a club member, but honestly, in my perspective, I feel it being more beneficial within the club, just because the eyes and ears are here. And when you're not here, some things could get, left unnoticed or not taken care of, I guess, not addressed immediately.
Be a pretty big task for somebody to take that on too when they have really no reason to be here other than for safe sport.
Correct. There's a lot of things that could get missed in the process. Now, discipline, that worked well, I think, this last year, with them being removed from all of
It
everything.
worked really well.
And the ones that were on the committee, I think, did really well. They had great backgrounds for what this club, I think, needs at this time. But that's for you guys to deal with it, guys.
Is there anything you need from us to support the position right now?
Right now, no, because the season is pretty much over and done with. One thing that I haven't done that I still need to do is send Terry my monthly or my yearly report of everything that I dealt with. But other than that, nothing really is going to start back up until September.
Jeff?
Thank you, Jeff. Moving on to the financial report.
Sure. I did the same role, I think she'll be able to put in the agenda any attachments, that she could just write down for all of us.
Did anyone get a chance to go in and look at the large financials that Denise has sent out? So starting with the accounts, double checking, we're down, and so we are still waiting on the grant to come through that Lisa had finished up on.
I still haven't come in.
So this was from last week, when Denise sent it,
Well,
so.
this is in March, so 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's in, they mailed it 2 weeks ago.
So I just got set up on the account over at the bank end of last week. So I still haven't got access to it online yet and getting it or things like that. So last I heard it wasn't in there. It could be in there as of today.
Or it's sitting in the office until we get that.
At the trust, but the raffle, the 69K, also made a withdrawal out of that yesterday to go and fund the gaming at
It's getting used to it.
yeah, it's getting yours, it's going to pay us back.
That was 20.
So, so as of right now, it's maybe 20.
So year over year, compared to last year, yes.
And in comparison to not taking on the high school finances and stuff, will that change anything there?
Not yet. Because everything is from, it will move forward.
So that,
But in forecast, if you just had a forecast out, because you said you.
there are a lot of variables for this upcoming season. High school hockey is one of them, new structure for the agreement here is one of them.
Yeah.
And this kind of goes into more of the treasurer updates, but creating that forecast is going to be,
A lot of labor,
you know, grants is another big one, bucket and donations. But
Needs it.
want to stay out of the buckets before we get to that forecast.
I don't see any formal way for him to make a strong budget without reorganizing the buckets and making sure site stuff's in the right spot. Otherwise, the forecast is going to make any sense.
And then once the user agreement gets signed, then that's what's really been dictated, that's September. So hopefully,
It might not take into effect until September.
Right.
We might have to sign the agreement for the effect date of
yeah.
At least then we know.
Then we could get this put together and get a lot better. But we're in the summer, probably at best.
Yeah, there's a $50,000 grant that should go in the general. We took 20 out for gaming to get that started since we upped the layout structures and added a paper tab machine back. Okay. Which, if anybody was confused, when he brings up this 4-year deal, the gaming is cash on hand, so our gaming account is our raffle. And that's why it was named raffle. It's likely to be changed to
How we
gaming.
have order buckets things changed.
Yes.
But the plan is to go back through all of last year's.
Him and I talked briefly, and it's up to the committee what they decide ultimately. In my opinion, 1 year would be sufficient because it will take, oh God, I don't even want to know, but 2+ years of rigor or take. I mean, it's not ideal, but at least it'll give us a way better idea than we're saying.
Yeah, and then in the future,
In the future, now
we can actually say, hey, let's put 50,000 towards equipment or something. But budget that out. Right now, it's like,
Yeah, you know,
that's,
I mean, you know, it's like the concessions are in Winter Classics should just be under the Lincoln concessions. It should go under the Winter Classics. The merchandise for Winter Classics should be under that, just like the expenses for merchandise for it should be under that. So I mean, there's a lot of, that's just an easy one to point out, but like the supplies. You know, terrible how much was in there for supplies, which I'm putting 50,000 in supplies and people just spent 20, because it wasn't actual supplies.
it's more of a general
Paint kit,
account.
yeah, or like paint kits and random stuff.
It's more of a fine.
So they got a busy off season.
That's something on the list. I mean, it's like going back and rebuffing that stuff instead of just drilling down on specific ones, not doing a full on audit. Maybe not necessarily a full audit of the transaction, but at least those bigger buckets that we see discrepancies.
No one guy that want to do a full on. I know one guy that wants to do a full on.
He's waiting.
We might task him with that.
He's in it.
Let's get that financial committee started.
Obviously, it needs to be corrected.
Yeah.
We gotta do something.
Absolutely.
We need sponsorship, all the finances get better.
Yeah, there's, well, I think another test too, and I know they've been, well, I never spoke to the person, so I don't see that, but trying to maybe do the online version. In case something gets put in the wrong place, that you have access to go and move it to the right one.
Yeah, another thing that is going to be on, so I had someone sent an email to Denise about trying to set that up, so it's going to be forthcoming. It's all for a high level, gross profit, or 4K, this is just March.
For me, I didn't see anything.
It's not really clear. Approve the report.
Yeah, I'm motion to approve the margin expenditure.
Second. We have a second.
Also,
All in favor, say aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Now, jump over to the 4-year financial. So, super high level, I guess, another question going forward with the monthly meetings, I kind of want to try to do the same type of thing with the total up. So we're looking at things at a higher level as opposed to that P&L type format, but just kind of a general question. If this is an easier format to look at.
I would be more confident once this restructure
Once the buckets are
to go this way versus
Yes.
getting away from it until it happens.
Yeah.
Because we're not gonna have any question, if you just look at this, I don't think anybody is gonna pop up a question, like, wait a minute, what's this? spend?
well, but you don't know, well, that's just,
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're right, if you had it all fairly secure on what everything, where things are going, you can.
So these are the March totals for years past, 26, 25, 24, and 23, on all the accounts that generally offer PCD and cash and trust. So definitely sitting lower as of right now. Also knowing that we're anticipating 50K to hit this. Should be in the same ballpark as years past. As well.
I think grants get
Last year, Lisa did like 4 to 5, and then only about 75 and change, which was the most we've ever had. So we've slowly been from, I think it was like 19 from the biggest one's the 2 tax, like that.
Well, I was just curious on the numbers. So-
Yeah, it's about
So there's a lot of room we could do there. I mean, that's good. but
Yeah.
There's more out there.
I think she applied for a few more, so we didn't get approved.
Yeah, we got the tourism tax one's the biggest one, that one from like 19 to 38 to 50, and then this year, last year, she's done. Rough Riders Fund, that max caps out currently, I think 3,500, supposedly there's a new one in the works that's more event driven than what the current one is. That need per event, a lot of opportunity there. take that charge, is gonna just wanna get with Lisa for her previous stuff, throw it in SharePoint, and then we can, whatever that group is,
Yeah.
fundraising group, can go from there, because yes, it is dictated by numbers of incoming traffic spent in the community, it's driven by tax dollars that we are,
Potential tax.
potential tax dollars based on spend, so yes, it may decrease slightly. But that's one of our smaller meetings too, of total
Yeah.
community. Kids coming to the communities. But if you have a state tournament, I don't know if you would throw that out or not on those years of the state tournament, because it's not really mustering. We are what we are.
I was thinking about this earlier too. I know we're thinking that we're gonna be down some on that, but it might be an opportunity to work with the high school still having like a winter classic for them.
We can't.
No?
We can't.
Okay.
5 periods in a day,
Yeah, okay.
unless you want to run Wednesday through Sunday.
I have a, we're gonna be talking about this.
Yes.
I have a question.
All we have to do now is have very strict practice starts. I already have it in the facilities page, but they have the practice start date that they can't touch that before then unless they're with other random coaching staffs.
Because coaches can only have X amount of time.
It starts this year's November 9th, and they cannot play the first game until November 20th. They have to have 9 practices in, which I'll get to that.
Yeah, we don't, go down rabbit hole, yeah.
He's cool. You're supposed to be the one keeping us on track.
All right, then.
For your financials. So, again, high level, P&L, I think some of the occupancy and grants. This is some of the grant money that we were seeing, again, super high level, bottom line revenue. And we've steadily increased. 24, 25, get back down, I think, that is advertising.
Here's a great example right there. Occupancy and grant are in 2 different buckets and they're both great. What was that?
But I would say 24, 25, we had a dip in advertising. This year we brought it back up. And this is, at least historically, the last 4 years, the highest revenue that we had, thanks to those grants and just raising rates and going out and getting the advertising.
And advertising, is that just straight advertising in, or does that include advertising costs like now as well?
That is just advertising in, because advertising out is here.
Okay,
So this isn't the balance sheet, this is just the.
okay, just your high level.
The revenue and then the next one is expenses. We're each in the same buckets.
Oh, there we go, sorry. Manager report number.
So, as we can see, our expenses have steadily climbed year over year.
Steadily?
Was 200K.
We've jumped from last year.
Yeah.
2 years ago.
So admin's the big one, cleaning is gigantic, coaches, pay and reimbursements.
That makes more sense. That's why I was trying to explain to people our annual meeting, P&L was 13 months, and I can see the difference from that to this, because you captured 2 payrolls of coaches' pay. This is more.
So what is an admin?
Admin, looking back, was director, payroll, and then other, whatever, it's appreciation.
So that's one I need to talk to Denise about. I don't understand why we appreciate it twice as much as we did last year. I'm not sure what assets we appreciate. This is annually, if it's in the equipment.
It should be administrative line reimbursements.
Yeah. So that is one that I can drill down on, right? We really appreciate it.
Because we didn't, ours
That's one of the things I
have
did
maintenance
want to
in
homes, correct?
And so repopulating last year should,
Somewhere around
Oh,
there.
I said our example, we can make it to the house, we didn't have to send it out this
to
year.
We
me,
didn't send it out, but we still replaced what's like $5,000 with it, 4,000.
I was just sorry.
Or something, our friend went out.
Lots on both of them throughout the year.
Yeah, so,
I wouldn't have anything to do.
but
So,
something
to
cheaper
me,
than years past.
the ones that I would really want to audit and focus on, looking at the transactions and repopulating them, is just these highlighted ones. If there's any additional ones that you guys want me to look at, we can do that. Or if Keith is willing to do
I'm gonna be completely honest with you, it
100%.
needs a full-blown review. I mean, and you guys will have a group to do so.
Yep.
I know that.
We can delegate.
I know that one person is very willing to sit down there for as long as it takes to get it all straightened out because
What is all improvements? Cause I mean, that's, we went from $175 stuff to 9,000.
Almost.
again,
No idea.
Okay.
So, one thing that is now attached to the monthly financials, and you can I can go back and get this for the entire year if you look at what they do have for schools. Detail. So, the transaction detail is now included, as long as the notes are accurate. That may be something that needs to get audited as well. It's associated with the the sum and the amount of those transactions. And just to largely have 34K assessment skills. Coaching reimbursements. So that's stipend and reimbursements. 37 just keep it. But yeah, that's
so what was the, go back to the lab inspection, what was the permit jail code? Yeah, no.
89.
No, I thought maybe the jail code should incorporate.
Oh.
Below jerseys. Because that is a wild jump.
Depreciation on the supplies. Like James said,
Yes.
supplies is going to be 22K. It's not as far.
What was the top one, cleaning and what else? Sorry, I didn't bring my laptop.
Cleaning, coaches,
Well, I'm assuming they'll drop this into his officers.
Yes, sorry.
yep, this.
You
this is-
shared this with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sent this out an email. It is in SharePoint now, so all you guys will know the officers, treasurers, and finally, our net. Year overview. Just in case. So, lost more last year, but still lost this year.
Advertising helped this year a lot.
Big time. Giving it what it is.
And losing a lot of advertising last year hurt a lot.
Yeah, I said, I was gonna ask why we lose so much.
For the 24, 25 season, we have to ask the people who were here 24, 25 season.
Yeah, Jamie's
Yeah, Jamie.
So I would recommend going forward though, to keep notes on all that stuff. Every task like that, if there's somebody that turns something down, there's a note why, so we can follow back up. Maybe somebody comes up with an idea to correct it on the road. Just for that reason, you could ask.
And I think,
You know, we should be able to dig up in the files and know exactly what happened.
I believe Jamie's spreadsheet has notes associated with who we reached out to, maybe on why they declined.
That was just me and that was just last year.
Just last year.
Previously to that, no.
No, check it
But yes, they try to write notes as best as that because most of them were person that I needed in contact wasn't there at the time.
out. Oh, I didn't see you.
Going forward,
That's an issue,
right?
Yeah,
Like, don't even work last year.
Huh?
Yeah, I said, like, there's nothing
Well,
more.
especially if it's
Last
like, you
year-
don't like this
Well, that was
person,
Denise's
or you don't
chair.
wanna like, you know how to approach
To see
things
this.
different.
I think it's very much that, though.
Yeah, I mean, it could be different things like that, you have no clue yet.
Yeah, and I
If
think
somebody
all
flat out
opposite.
says, no, I don't wanna do it for this reason, then if we remedy that, then you can approach it.
So it's good to understand.
Yeah, I think so too.
So my thing that I sent you guys, it's also shared with me, was just what contacting. That is not notes on why people didn't re-up on the advertising. To be clear, the year before, we had much, it's not necessarily that it means that they didn't re-up. We didn't have enough, and then some re-upped, and then we do a lot of exchange of services, potentially. So I mean, that's part of it. There was exchange of services that we weren't getting the service with the exchange, so we ripped them all down. And did a full reset on and contacted those particular people, like you still, like, hey, we didn't get anything for this, we just got free advertising, so we either get paid or we're coming back. And so we took a hard, fast line there, instead of being kind of nice guy too, I mean, there's a cost to it, and you just start.
Yeah, here's what it is.
Yeah.
Then,
Yeah.
right now, all we can do is, okay,
Right.
we're gonna set a target of this, this committee, and they gotta try to meet it.
So the only thing we don't have notes on, that Denise was sharing, or Sam were sharing that file, and why somebody didn't bring up potentially, or it's a totally different file. We can start a new one moving forward, yes, they can just put right on the one.
I'm not saying that, I'm saying-
Yeah. But I when we go over, Denise goes to re-up this year, she's gonna use my file, and then put notes. If they decide to come off, and then obviously open space up, and so.
For a different discussion, but I think there's a big area, or growth area there with the right people attacking. I really think we can.
Yeah, I mean,
Not saying you didn't do it, yeah.
what I was getting at was, put a
Just
lot
more
of effort
people,
in, but
more people.
there was a lot more effort that could have been done in like 10 spots that could have been 9 times.
Well, and I think to Chris's point, like if we build this, you know, those select 3 people that are really good at going out and hounding people, which we know there are out there,
There's
so.
people in the club that are full of it.
Throw stickers on everything, that's what I said.
You're fine. Any more on the 4-year?
No more on the 4-year, any questions on the 4-year?
Seems like you got a great plan moving forward.
So the updates, the MCHC credit card, Lisa has one in her name, she's got access to it, she was canceling now.
Okay.
It's gonna be on me to either
Are you meeting
start a new one or see if we can refine some of our transactions where we're just pulling directly out.
You make it.
That works great unless you order something else.
So
Like-
we are gonna need to set up a new credit card.
I would say not just a club credit card, it's for a user, just like our bank card.
Yeah.
Wasn't set up that way?
My understanding is the lease, it was under the club, but leasing names on
Yeah, so you should just be able to cancel per
it. Yep,
card.
yep. And start a new one. Yeah, start a new line of credit, not start a new line of credit, just get a new card associated with that line of credit. That's the way I understand it.
Yeah,
Like, once I
you
get
just become the user of the account.
into,
Yeah, that's, throw me off there. Okay.
Do you have a plan for getting that? Or do you know when Lisa is canceling that?
He doesn't need to wait for her to cancel. Just become a user. You probably have 10 credit cards associated with that account.
The thing is,
Well, technically, can't
I'm
he
ordering
cancel
probably
it?
tonight or tomorrow, so I need to know if that card's still good, or do I need to wait till he gets a new card so I can order it?
What do you order?
What do you call them? Facilities, and I'll let y'all know. I'm just wondering if there's a card.
I don't know how you guys operate that, so. Like, do you get,
I believe she may have already canceled it, so I.
Okay.
But they actually are still in there.
Okay.
hold off.
Oh,
Business Venmo. Last year, everything ran through Lisa's Venmo.
Club has it.
Club Venmo.
She was attached to it,
And she was attached to it.
and then she would transfer the funds or money into somebody's account if we owe that money. You know, the club end, because the club end was attached to our general.
So,
And then she had to send at least the transaction report.
so I was going to explore the cost for getting a business Venmo, because it's actually set up to do business as opposed to just one that's surrounded with a person or like the outside. But I also want to look at our point of sale system and see if there's maybe new transactions to that. I think we did QR codes for open hockey and stuff last year, so that might be a better option than paying for business Venmo, but I want to do more digging into something as a
I think most of the transactions that were ice rentals and any outstanding invoices, unpaid invoices towards the end of the year came through on that. Because, and then very few stocks with me, obviously put the equipment side right on the registration page to avoid the Venmo issue. We want to limit as many Venmo transactions, it's very hard to build a nice flow.
I do have not a day pick, but this week we're going to sit down and say I'm trying to get down one of the system. So I am fishing out of water right now.
And yeah, that
Yeah.
that was on my email that you guys would pass.
Yeah, password.
Yeah, I don't know the access.
I don't want to screw anything up and just start going.
So once we get a committee together too, they can
Yes.
make these decisions, like, hey, I got this out here, this out here.
Yep. Whether want to go on proposal recommendations on the committee, yeah, absolutely. Another thing I'm looking into, this was having conversations with Keith, is QuickBooks. That's the DPN QuickBooks remote sharing, so we can get multiple people on access to it. And I sent a note to Denise to discuss it. She's in the tax season, so I'm near-term objectives. I don't think that I'm going to tackle these by myself, but as we look at the committee setup, read bucket review, looking at what the buckets are going to be, and then kind of establishing an approval process for the transactions before they go into the buckets. In terms of this bucket, instead of going back and auditing it, there should be something up front where someone's approving it before the buckets. If we can streamline that for a few months, there's an understanding.
To be clear, and trust, Denise is gonna send us a file email of 6 invoices to be paid that just asks for payment. But there's a follow-up on what bucket each one go.
Is the treasurer the one who approved that?
The board has to approve any transactions, outgoing, accounts payables.
Any invoices coming in. And that's another thing that's on our list of things to do, talking to Denise is, she handles all of the way I understand it, she handles all of the invoices that are mailed, they will see over there, she'll send them over to us. And I've got to work to figure out where all the other invoices are coming in, and making sure that you guys have visibility. I'd like to get to the point where we vote on the meeting, or approve the invoices in the meeting. If we have to pay something quickly, if we can send out an email, approve it electronically. If there needs to be a discussion.
Well, there's gonna be recurring invoices that,
Yeah.
you don't want to focus on per se, in my opinion, like, exactly rough estimate, if we have a year and a annual dollar value to be paid on this broken out by 12 payments, I don't know. It's amazing. So, in theory.
I'm still just trying to understand this process.
Yeah, we don't have, and maybe our point of sale system has an important process in it. Yeah, we suggest that. is supposedly implementing that to help clean things up, but we're not giving cash to officials.
Us signer app? It's us signer. Yeah.
Us signer.
Yeah, for refs. So, yeah, I'm admin on that. I guess that's another password that'll be there and it can get used as a signer deal. You can pay right out of our account into MCHC, into the referee's direct deposit account. So you just pull cash and you sign your app and you click pay. Instead of walking around with $7,000 in cash and return the weekend. And people, but the other thing that we'll need to add to this is probably 1099 well, in case they go over the threshold of tax versus up to so that's coaches and that then he started doing that this last season, so other guy was like a refuge but and coaches getting that stuff pretty filled out.
Slush funds. So currently the money that are going to teams is coming through the organization's account and going specifically to teams in some instances. But wanted to change that going forward. It just seems like it's not doesn't if it's flowing to the teams, it should go to the teams from their parents and their
I think for more clarity,
again, just
I think the cash, like they're getting cash and stuff, they're keeping records of.
Yes.
If we get a donation to a specific team, that's what comes out.
yes.
They're not giving it, right? You guys aren't giving us the cash from like Winter Classic raffle sales. They're keeping it, keeping records. But if you get a donation from like Mountain donation to a specific team, then he's got to go pull that out, get the tax, make sure that it's the tax rate, and then give it to the team on. So I mean, there's also I think some other intangibles to donating for a tax credit and being allowed to do is very specific.
That's what you guys are doing.
Definitely want to talk a little more.
It's got a big action item this.
Oh, man, it's pretty fun. Grants, we get with Lisa, figure out grants that she got last year, and try to go out. And I think this is going to be kind of a joint task with the marketing committee. So, see where we're at with that, try to get Lisa did the majority of that last year, but at least get those people that has talked about the tax contract. Some donations. There's a handful that I was told are going away this year. Just trying to me, those are the things, the main drivers for that forecast for this upcoming season. Once we get buckets of that. Sorry for being long, but that's all I got. Let's see questions.
Any questions for Spencer?
You guys want to add, it's not very, I guess it's a good question, but the endowment fund, maybe you guys are willing to attack, trying to get more funds into the endowment fund.
We can work with
I don't want to call
advertising or marketing as well, kind of like that.
probably not at the top of the list bucket, but I think over time, if it's always on the list, it would be attacked, because I know our accountants advocate for it, they're really the only ones currently advocating for it. The more we can build that up, teenagers and everything, not next year for 5 years, unless we still a bit, for a time, it's a big deal, operation, because some metrics is also.
Thank you, Spencer. Putting up with my own questions. All right, moving on to facility update.
So I just got a list of things that have happened in the last very recent past. Obviously, ice is off on Hanson. That's done, completed. We don't have a scheduled date for going on yet. We will narrow that down here in the next couple months, depending on the boardwalker and all that. So that'll come up here real soon.
Isn't it already?
No, but our standardized dates this year are 8/31, would be
power box for this side of the building, monitoring minute by minute for kilowatt usage right now. So we can associate why the power bill is the way it is. That is the only way we can actually see, other than a monthly, here's how many kilowatt hours you use from MBU, is to put the monitor on the box. So it's on the box right now. They're looking at some other issues, but we're going to have access to that data as well for, are we using more power at night, in the morning, in the middle of the day, what's like on Saturdays, whatever it is, we'll be able to dial that down and kind of maybe associate is, we have 40 user groups in here, or they had something else turned on and we didn't want on, or, the compressor was having issues, it was down, it was back up and on, whatever it is, like we should be able to associate why and start to dial down and hopefully figure out how to save a little bit of cash, not just for us, but for the railroad as well. Because eventually they're going to end up having this bill, so they're really looking at that. The Jersey room was remodeled. We remodeled that last week, I think. Yes. So creating more storage is the name of the game recently, right? The last year it seems like creating more storage in the building has been a huge issue. So we put some more racks in, and now we needed some new items to store our stuff to make it more efficient in there. So we came up with about $1,100 for hangers and totes and racks and things like that we'd like to purchase to make it significantly better for jerseys to go in there. And obviously we're starting to sort of rolling equipment in there as well, so we need a place for all that as well.
Where's this at?
The Jersey room? That is downstairs in the Zan room. You access it through the Zan room.
It's on the other side of it.
I'll say again, that's right now. But we're getting there. It's only a mess because it's being packed in afterwards. Yeah, so we'll need a motion to approve $1,100 for hanger. No more than $1,100 for hangers, totes, and racks.
Do we have?
Do what?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's our equipment. That's not
Jersey room, you're saying?
for the Jersey room, yeah.
Are these stationary portable?
So the racks were already approved, previously built, and now installed. Now we need hangers to hang jerseys on to get them out of totes. We need the new totes so we don't have one of each style tote that Walmart offers. To have all the same totes to make it more organized, and to build a new rack above whatever that side wall is up on the top of them to put goalie gear and stuff in. So we'll have to have that built by somebody. So it's totes, it's hangers, and then it's stuff to store.
So you know the cost to have it built, is it not that much?
Yeah. All the numbers up, that's just for material projects, I'll donate my time to the hangers. So the hangers, the totes, the bucket, three-sided bucket things that we can stack different color socks in and everything else, and then a metal rack that goes above from one side completely, to put goalie gear and goalie bags and stuff in.
And then, I guess, side question, like, again, I think I've asked it before, but like, are we have a running list of all this stuff, we can monitor and see updates, or is it only you that knows? Like, I had no idea about that. Is there something?
We haven't had something put together now that we have the system, the sensors.
This is where we're going.
That's everything is going into everything from every committee is going to run into that. So as of right now, no, there's not they're running. It's
Just like the project for power, documenting that was like, hey, this is on from this month to this, and here's the reason why, so we can go back and look at it.
right. I got that.
5 years from
I got that last Thursday at our facilities meeting in the building here. They don't know when it's going to come off, but it's on right now because they're chasing that separate problem. So.
Yeah, no, I'm
But no, moving forward is everything will all be in that living document that we can all access and take a look at. So everybody will know at that point what's going on with the whole club. So, but as of right now, no, there's not I don't have any running list.
I just
other than what every
housing stuff and making sure we can always go back and understand why something was done or I just like to be able to access stuff. That's why I ask questions. If you guys don't want it, I guess I like this.
I think we all
history.
I think we all want it.
No, you're on the right path.
It'll make everybody's life easier for sure, so.
So you need a motion for a not to exceed price of $1,100.
Correct.
Hangers, totes, and what?
Hangers, totes, and racks.
Building material.
It'll be building material and all that.
Need more racks. So we're gonna
So on the one side where we have the 2 racks or whatever, we're gonna put the rack above that to put all the bowling gear and stuff on.
Alright, I'll motion that.
So can I ask one question? So I don't, I'm used to seeing the budgets all or a proposed quote laid out and not just here, I think it's this. I'm not saying I don't trust it. Just trying to make sure it's the right way, that's how we're good, or we don't break it down. Besides, TNM not to exceed.
It'll be a itemized receipt.
Supporting our own operations.
I mean, eventually we get some
At the
stuff
end,
to
it'll
be
be
itemized, right?
So there's gonna be something that goes under the supplies bucket.
Yeah.
And we can retroactively look at it.
So like when we did the racks, we got approval
Currently,
for
that's where we get
$700 or $800, and then it costs that.
transaction mark from these for the supplies. And you look at this month and say, we approve this $1,100, within the next whatever days he purchases them, what are the actuals. But yeah, if well, I'm not saying what we want, I'm just trying to understand the process, because I know we have a thing we gotta fix anyways. And we just make everything clean, then just, here's what general cost or something. Well, I mean, that's fine, that's how you guys have done it.
Yeah, I mean, the assumption is he's done the research on how many he needs of each item with the cost associated to it to get to a not to exceed price of $1,100, and then it's gonna be validated with the receipt.
But I do see what you're saying for bigger projects.
Not
Yes,
coming
maybe
in
it should
and
be-
like,
Like, we had buy the popcorn machine, so we had a motion to approve the popcorn machine with a not to exceed price of $2,000.
I donated one.
I'm just using that as an
Oh, I was like, that's a bummer.
Here, like, that's the recommendation
Oh,
from
no.
these committees, is those things, and, I mean, unless.
There's some-
Continue to have 4 or 5 plus hour meetings, you're trying to assume that they're doing their job.
There are some that come in and it's like, this is the exact quote with shipping and everything, and like, we did Zamboni parts last year, right?
We had loaning cars.
We had the exact cost of
Yeah, we
everything.
got multiple quotes and bids and put it together.
Right, here's everything, and some of them include shipping, some of them don't include shipping, because you don't know, like, I mean, some of the Zamboni parts, and like, the nets that we ordered last year, right, we gave an extra $900 for shipping, it didn't cost that much. Freight, they don't quote out freight until it's on the truck down here, so it's hard to get an actual price on something.
And there's no boundaries for you doing that job.
For
Regulations or anything like that. I don't know, I'm just asking. Like, you're
Like conflict of interest type, is what you're meaning?
in a way, I guess. I'm just trying to
a
understand.
paid position, maybe,
But so it's fine for him
he's
to
volunteer.
approve that and donate and volunteer.
Also, I mean, from the facility standpoint from last year, don't we, right, like, it's already on the agenda, we just need to approve it.
Yeah.
Here's our receipt.
It's something that we talked about
Yeah.
multiple times last year. Hey, we need to get this done. We finally gotten around now. The season's over to getting it done, and now this is the next step to finish off that. So the room is already taken up. I don't remember how much it was the last time, but to build the racks to make the storage, because before, like, the storage has been such a huge issue that luckily the equipment room last summer, thank you, Brian, has actual storage and was in good shape. The Jersey room is getting to that status where, you'll be able to walk in and know exactly where it is at. There's a dollar amount.
We're feeling that's a good fit in that corner, like with the move and everything, now that it's all like gonna be set up the way it is Jersey wise.
Yeah, it'll
In
be.
comparison to this.
Oh,
I'm not gonna change anything to
All right.
it yet.
So,
Hold on, they spent all the last time.
I'm not changing anything dependent for in your room.
Permanent
I'm just-
structure to it.
Hey, I'm the one that cleaned out that room for those jerseys, Jamie. I know.
we
Thank
need
you.
a motion for Kevin to purchase $1,100 not to exceed for supplies and
I
nutrition.
say Jamie did that for, right? I'll second
Okay, first and second, all in favor say aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
So let's talk about streaming our meetings here, right? So we do have a new computer. It is finally here and ready to be set up. Lisa was supposed to give it to me today. She is still scanning a patient, or was starting to scan a patient when I was on my way to go get it. So that obviously didn't get picked up today, but we will have a new desktop computer. So we need to get webcam, mics, cords, things like that. We'll do a webcam, set it up, and we'll do a mic in the center so you can actually hear, because the audio on that thing sucks.
So the desktop will sit over there.
The desktop will sit over here on that desk. It'll be for directors, board members, coaches, whoever we designate that can use it, right? It's a club resource computer. So we'll be able to run our stream live on YouTube on it for our board meetings, everything else. So to kind of take some of the burden off of Chris as well. We appreciate him coming in and doing this, but to take some of the burden off by our own webcam, a mic that we can kind of sit on the table, and then every single one of us who needs to plug their damn laptop to get, we're going to need some cords for mine on the mic over here, and I do too. My laptop sits back here, kind of freaking 100% charged. To get cords and a surge protector for the center of our cable so that we can plug into that.
Or you're just gonna like drill a hole down the middle of the table, pull it through, so that you don't.
Just slide the table over and just put it right in the center.
That would make sense.
I need you to think a little cheaper than that, okay?
You don't know.
We use the tables for other things, so having one it would not be the most ideal item.
Okay.
So.
We don't know.
They don't just.
And we don't own the table either, so. I've looked at a bunch of cords.
You're saying like you're gonna get a centralized.
A centralized mic that can pick up all of our voices instead of a one area thing. So,
We just Wi-Fi from there.
and I've looked at those too, and they're a little bit more expensive, but they're not bad.
Well, you need a power cord, but you can.
Yeah.
I could log in with my computer to run the Teams off of it.
Yes.
Right. So,
Instead of worrying about that, here it's just plug into this.
and then to get whatever else we need over here, which is going to be, well, it'll be like,
The camera would be the same.
Yeah.
Methodology.
yeah. So, looking for no more than $400 for webcam, mics, cords, and everything.
So the computer.
It's not going to be too close to that because the microphone and stuff are so much cheaper nowadays.
I'm not gonna go for that. I think that would be an item that would all cord for almost exactly what you think you're doing.
And actually, I think I might have everything.
Do it right.
We don't
Yes,
use.
correct.
That we don't use anymore. So we might have all that.
I
So
would like to see exactly what you think you're trying to propose for us to buy, because if it's not something that I think makes sense to buy just once instead of upgrading a year from now, let's get the right damn one and be done with it.
good.
I would recommend even ask that you look, if you're gonna put a budget together for something like that you look at maybe a TV or something to just just have a big one. Just look at costs.
No, still have to be any temporary or permanent structures that can go on by the rough fire center.
Well, I mean, that's something you can have, don't even answer, just ask. If you're gonna
You
be
can certainly ask them the deal, and we talk about like swivel on up there with a bigger.
just sort of work. And teams can come in here and have a nice screen to like review video, things like that. They can be multi-use. Like Ryan did sessions with the students this last year. We could use video plus whiteboard. So we could revamp it a little bit. Not just for this meeting, but
Well, that's a good idea. Let's look at a bigger picture on that. So for real.
put some ideas together.
Okay.
There, and it has a lower speaker, we can't remotely do it. So
Yeah.
Yep.
That would be
And their
perfect.
mics are right there, so we have.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. There's a lot of
$400.
Moving on. Let's see.
Moving on. The last thing is the vote for the bathroom install in the Commodores. We talked about this last week on the space required, so, and we have time to put their thoughts into it and what they think the
Well,
best.
I don't know plan B of it, it's like if you want bathrooms or not, right? But
Plan B is just.
Plan B is this is our choice, if not, no, we go back to
I
square one.
missed one because it involves
Yes.
city slash county, yeah, roll call vote, I guess.
So, it's either this or nothing for right now.
Right now,
And then
And
you're,
if you put this in, it's not anything else potentially in the future.
which in our opinion, we want to.
We
roll
want
way
that.
as opposed to-
Well, in my opinion, I'd rather have the bathrooms out there than.
I mean, here is an asinine spot, so.
One, you lose so much space there.
Well, if we're not gonna, what it looks like the proposed, what it looks like is not even functional to what is gonna work.
it's gonna
lose all that.
Yeah,
affect our area so much. Now,
Yeah.
I think it's not the
yeah, I don't think it's the
long-term
right.
solution, it's a fix right now and then
Yeah.
Correct.
areas
Just
are
like
gone
the
forever.
$400.
So.
I would just do a roll call vote for the meeting minutes and not be it's just a guess.
Although I don't like making all the older people want to raise, but
100%.
Then
It doesn't make sense.
I mean, it's, yeah, you guys
It's
want
been 8 years, I mean,
yeah.
they can do it right again, just like we just talked about. Like whatever they
Yeah.
do there would be long term, be more beneficial than the short term effect of.
I think too many things in this facility was just thrown together really fast when we were building it, when we take a look at it, so I think if we can take our time and just propose, or whatever we go, but, I just think we could have a better use of space, so.
So we want to do roll call on it?
Yes.
You want me to call out?
Yeah, already.
So, yay for bathroom, nay for against, yes, no? Good, sound good? Brittany?
Nay.
Jamie?
No,
Kevin?
No.
Sam?
No,
Chris?
no,
Spencer? Sorry. Spencer? No. And Cody, myself, no. I just looked at it, I was thinking, I was one to say it's last week. Sorry.
I have nothing else for facilities.
Okay. High school hockey.
okay, so first off, I sent everybody out that, MOU to review, it's in the SharePoint as well, under the high school hockey folder. So Bud will go in there, put red lines on it, and then the near term for additions, strike throughs, whatever. Feel free, Chris also emailed a comparable to kind of look against, so I just want to bring it to our attention, because we're gonna want to have that in their possession in the near future. At least with red lines, they can take a look at any changes.
I will say, I don't know if you guys look at the comparable.
And honestly, I haven't even kind of read it yet, it's the first thing I had to do is, all the other things we had going on, that was kind of down here, but it does need to kind of pop the flag prior to let's get back to the school. So we do have any red lines, changes, whatever.
How soon does it need to get back? You want my date on it? For
I'll
us.
just say by next meeting. So that means,
Hold on to next meeting.
well, then, hold on, I wanted to be, voted to send this, so any red lines and discussion in the interim need to happen first, so that way we can make the changes for the formal.
If there is no changes, do we sign our half of it? Is there a signature spot?
Yes.
And then we pass
That would
it?
be,
Yeah.
so if nobody has any changes, or
If the signature would just come to the president.
it will, yes, we vote, no changes, we vote to approve it as is, and then we can sign it, and we can, back.
so my one question on it, just right off that, who decides the logo for these? Is that us
I
together?
read it, so.
It's just saying that they
It
will
will,
on the
yeah,
high school.
well, we will, so
So how, like,
So we talked,
yeah,
part of why we took this ice off was that just the structure of the building cost was any potential replacement, so it'd be nice advertising, and knowing that we're gonna have to put a Rose logo in the center. So my initial thought, and I don't know, doesn't mean so much talk, Brad, and Lisa can work me back around, yeah, plus we're being on the school board. had reached out to her and asked her to come up with some sort of a half and half in the circle logo or some sort of combined logo that makes most sense for that. And talking with him didn't matter, just the WC standard logo was what he wanted. So until I get some version of that back, and then he asked who pays for what, is it split half and half? You're gonna get the invoice from Better Beauty for your logo, we'll pay for ours, they're not very expensive, I've done it for everybody.
Is there any opportunity to put out like an initiative to kids, I guess, hey, come up with a cool design or whatever's goals? Like,
I don't think we want that for Sunrise.
I think it'd be cool for others.
We can
I
still-
don't think we want it for Sunrise.
Just trying to, you know,
Yeah.
I mean,
didn't say it was a great idea, just small.
no, I don't know if she's the one,
That's really
she's the one that designed the value. So,
Lisa?
I think so, she is the one that, I believe, designed our current Sunrise logo to begin with, so. It would just probably, faster or looking up like this, I agree with that. But that might be a red line to make, it's like, yes, it would be the logo, but the school would be responsible for the purchase of
Yes. To add that additional.
their logo. So, but yes, we went in as fully recognizing that they're going to need a logo and sheet, that sheet.
Because they'll only use it this one. Are they, will they
So
use?
they'll use practice.
That's what I was gonna say, will they, is it only dancing for everything, or they will practice between the
They'll have
two?
to practice. Yeah, never been through.
Yeah. Kinda like this
Or
year.
park skates, we skate at 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
That would go over well.
Yeah.
6 a.m.
6 a.m. Bring your bikes. 6 a.m.
So one thing, I've already brought this up to Nick Lee. I'll share this with you. I don't, I'm not gonna be long-winded here, just so I added the dryland area to our potential facility use. So next season, we're not on paper and the coaches will write down who's that way in one time, just like we have for boardroom. So as we pull up the schedule portion, you can now see it's got a dryland area lockout. So here's our upcoming, rentals looks like. We got our board meeting tonight. Carol's over there.
Can I also comment on that, Rhoda, about main facilities being open and ready to go? When rentals of private paying people, we need to be here and have it open. And that's just not coming from my husband last week that no one was here, nothing was unlocked. Luckily, I had Katie's key to get him in the coach's room. I think Brian had the same problem the other day. Like, I know it's a system, we have to work our kinks out, but if Tyrell and other people are paying $200,
Yes.
we need to be on our shit.
So there's a.
That was nicely said, via Tyrell, maybe.
I guess on that note for a second, on the facility schedule, when there is a rental, the recorder's supposed to be unlocking and.
Correct.
It's kind of right from now.
So just communication, like, cause Nikki, sorry to, my bad. Nikki's,
Just finish.
sorry, I know.
You're already on your way home base.
I am, Nikki's concern is like making sure, she has all these rentals coming up, she doesn't know if they have Zim, she has no clue and she just wants clarity, that's wrong.
Part of the current process, and she knows this, is supposed to be confirming that we have the ability to be here to do the rentals, or we don't take it on.
Yes, so I just,
Not just
doing that
adding it to the
communication.
facilities and then, expecting all of us to be in town or available, which is why, what's nice about the PK system is that as long as she works with Rough Rider and tells them on the rentals, at least the building itself can be open and closed. The locker rooms are a secondary issue. We try to close down to leave them just, other than the nights.
Well,
Leave them available for public.
That's something that I was looking into, is leaving a locker room open for public use.
One locker.
The reason we started locking them is during this time last year, there were multiple instances of alcohol abuse and sex in the locker rooms. That's why they started getting locked from people from that side of the building coming over to this side of the building.
Because you go from that side to this side, without having to have a key.
Correct.
So that's why everything ended up being locked last year.
No, valid.
High schoolers coming over during lunch.
It would be be another,
in the building.
so that would be another thing to put on the Rough Riders list.
Yeah.
Updates would be, instead of key access to the locker rooms, it should be done with a brand new building. Plymouth is having
Access.
fob access or PDK access on every locker, so.
I'm working with them to have a coach's key at the front desk that as you come in, you can check out. We did that this weekend, you checked out a key, came down, unlocked locker rooms, lock them up at the end, and return it at the end. So I'm working on them with trying to figure out what the best solution for that is.
And that might be it, because
And
he called me from ID, so that.
Yeah.
I just I know we're missing out on a lot of potential ice rental right now because we're not, and that's just.
process is
That's, and I think Chrissy struggled with that the other Sunday. No one was here, I think, whatever Sunday it was.
Yeah, just, okay,
Sorry.
I get it, this is part of why we're trying to move to that methodology is because we are 7 people who all have our own lives. So, when people get frustrated with it, I get it. Yes, I'm a serving board member to the members, but I don't get paid to do this. I'm not gonna sit up here 24 hours a day so I can come at the end.
Yeah, and we can't get pissed if everyone's paying full price for ice and,
But, with that said, that sounds like in the near future,
Yeah.
if we put it out to the renters that, hey, the locker key will be checked in and out at the front desk, and the building will be automatically open and closed with 30 minutes before and after the rental space.
and here's the number of whoever, not us, Rough Rider, when your PK access may not work. Correct?
Right now,
We're not giving them the app access. They're
Oh, it's
all
not
autos.
They
Oh,
just
it's
they unlock it from the
oh.
computer or Sarah can.
Oh, so just call, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
so they have to go front desk, grab a key and
No,
open it.
maybe we just tell them, I need the building to be open from 4 to 6.
Right, so then they're still having to come in the side doors, go get a key, come back, right?
No, through the front door. nobody
For the
comes to
locker
server.
room, for the locker room.
For the locker key, you have to go down and get it. Like,
That's all I was clear.
So what if it's at like 6 a.m. though, and.
There's somebody here at 5:45.
There is.
At the
Or there's supposed to be somebody here at 5:45.
And again, I
They can
get,
open the building right. I mean, okay. Yes, the locker room would be fantastic for every single person to be able to get into. But if I wanted to come and skate from 6 to 7 in the morning with my 2 kids, do I need a full locker room?
no,
Probably not, right? Not every group needs a full locker room. There are a lot of groups who do need full locker rooms
Yeah.
that come and skate, or it would be handy to have. So, also trying to figure out, is there a way that we could put some portable benches in for the rentals who's like, me and my 2 kids are gonna come skate,
Right.
right? Chris introduced his 2 kids
Yeah.
and a couple others are gonna come skate, but they need a full locker room for that. Half people for each open every year, some people don't. So,
no, it sounds like
there's been some
tiny.
ideas talked about, and the Rough Riders trying to figure out if that's a good idea or not. They're also, so they're looking at doing a whole bunch of stuff to the building anyway, so it's just things that
And
they're
that's
trying to work.
totally
in.
fine, I know we're in a bind with how we're gonna afford our summer ice stuff, and from other people from other towns, they're not getting any direction back, because Nikki seems to not have quite a direction yet. So here's just, her call concern to me the other day was, please bring it up. Not the right time, I truly apologize, we gotta work on this, okay, I'm new here, but we're talking about it.
Okay, sounds like we've got a plan though.
But it sounds like
There's a plan that's working in place. If the Rough Rider doesn't do anything fast, so we can talk about getting the key today. It might be 3 months before they actually get a key set up. So
Because I think long term they do plan on getting PDK on all doors.
correct, every single door in the building will
At
be
some
PDKs.
point. But
Why not?
in 5 years,
Because we have it coming out of the building, that's why our pool's not big enough.
we have to get cars.
Anyways, moving on.
Sorry.
Any more on this topic?
Well, what I was gonna bring up was I tentatively went through and put in, I had the first few 15 games for boys, and the girls yet, because they're still in the conferences, and then I tentatively put in their practices. So we didn't anticipate, but I ran the report, their hour usage should be about where we set it at, and we gave them that number. So as you can see up on the page, I've got the rinks, this is the school district, and then the R1 to go fit A. So I put them, and I talked to Brad about this, about Friday morning skates, because obviously, after tournaments or whatever, they're not going to go
Yeah.
So Saturday, the week game. This is only home games up here, but, so they have a Saturday game, right? So their full practice schedule's in, but what I want, the reason why I wanted to do this tentatively, and I'm putting them all at 7 p.m. prime time for high school hockey, is so Nikki can in theory work around it, and it leads into scheduling games. So as soon as I get the information from them on the final schedule, obviously coaches will be involved in the practice schedule, there might be some adjustments. Maybe they want to go instead of 4 days and 4, they might want to go 2 days in the morning, 3 days in the afternoon. I don't know. This is just how we set them tentatively. So we can work around it.
So, and it's us working around them.
Correct.
Okay, so it's not.
But they have one conflict, January 8th. Until wrap up, it's not set in stone. There is a game right here that's not in here during our Banner Classic. Now, I think I can make it work. If I move, so I sent them our tournament schedule. If I move the start time up a couple hours sooner, I can rather than on the tail end or something in the middle. It's not ideal. The first year when Sam was scheduled on the random game, no tournament, it's a disaster.
Yeah.
So there's one conflict, there's no times, there's this tentative schedule.
Yeah.
We still got 6 more games to the boys, and the girls are obviously still coming, so I made sure I texted in our tournament schedule, like, hey, you need to try your damage to work around that.
Yeah.
Because we didn't anticipate any Friday or Saturday games,
Yeah.
let alone Friday, you know.
Most of them are like, what, Tuesday, Thursdays? Yeah.
So I put all those in, I waited around the area for space. And if anybody, I guess, has any other questions regarding where we're at, I already talked about Spencer and that with him for a bit, maybe 2. And it's gonna be working progress through the offseason to continue to work with them. And then, the one thing though, this is gonna remain on here as an agenda item. Doesn't mean I have to say anything about it, but this way it gives the ability if either Brad or Mitch takes over and coaching staff will come in and talk to us that it's just a running item for a foundation.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
So that's where we'll
alignment.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, because I mean, there's things like, you know, you brought up the coaching staff wants to whatever the
Yeah.
program, and they have ideas here.
Yeah.
So,
Are we going to like request 48 hours, 72 hours, whatever, for them to be on the agenda or if it's last minute?
because we already,
Because it's just there, it's a permanent spot, okay?
so if they don't show up, I mean, it's rise hockey, no, we keep moving on.
Yeah, okay.
Somebody's here, it's already on the agenda, so if they don't speak as that type of specific item, it's on it. It's no different from the treasurer's report, it's
Yes.
running
Yeah.
all the time.
Okay.
It's a little different than public address, in my opinion, because that is,
That makes sense, I just wanted clarity on that.
obviously, I assume they'll let us know if it's coming.
Any more high school hockey questions, comments? Thank you, Jimmy. You guys good, or do we need to move in more?
I think it's fine.
Oh, God, we're ready. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I could take one.
Anything else to that?
Yeah.
Does the, right, motion.
I'll second the motion to take a 5-minute break.
Give Brittany the
Or
first.
5-minute recess.
That was me.
Recess.
I actually was wondering, does the slot machine downstairs work like this baby?
Okay.
You know?
Quick 5 minutes.
There's a pop machine.
I need 5, dude. I was in there quarterly meeting.
There was.
Brittany, you gotta go. And get to it.
I swear there was one on our side at one time.
The only one on our side is upstairs.
No, there was.
There was,
Last year,
last year there
one
was.
right
It was a
outside.
slot machine downstairs on this side. They moved it?
There was one, that's
They
what about.
moved it. They had to move it.
Fingers
I
under.
think that was before you got here. I think they moved it mid-season last year.
Oh, I
There
don't
was
know.
one down
I
there, now it's on
have
that
not walked from hockey rink to Rough Rider like all season.
Isn't there one
As
down
soon as I
by the
can.
bathrooms?
No, I was working the winter class, or no, the high school tournament.
We need to work on that.
I was wanting to go by Monster, they were already closed on that side. I went.
But if you
to
guys want to
Central,
do committee things, are we still with COVID?
I got yelled at pretty bad before you got.
Can I hear some cheese?
We'll know who's on, we'll know who's on what committee, so you can
For
start
the
nailing things down here shortly.
MCHC game.
You would be very happy to know that my already proposed committee already happened.
We've got absolutely no user groups in that compressor that they're running the entire time. For one device. Facility share should.
stairs. How do you guys not pass out on all those stairs, staff?
See, you know what, maybe at least I think I probably have an extra insert that we put on that we use.
We need to do this, I think, just like get it to where it's, you can buy those pads as walkover pads.
Yeah.
So it's safe.
Well, and actually, like, that's something that the Rough Rider would probably needs to just do.
Well, sure, I'll pay.
Well, they've been willing to pay for a little bit of stuff right now, so.
To me too, like if we can't really make permanent changes to this, there are some things that they should
It's
look for if
hard.
we need to.
Well, and they've been willing to put the bill on a lot of stuff, so. It's just been kind of nice. I mean, the locker room updates.
What's the status of this room or area?
I suppose it's not much, because.
Not much. It should be all locked up now. Everything back there, all the swag and stuff should be locked up for the rest of the season.
But is this seriously all we're doing? Or do we have proof of this?
Do we have what?
The committee will make improvements for it.
Yeah.
I see.
Whatever committee that is can deal with that.
Yeah, facilities.
No, that's not so bad.
What's all?
That'd be, that's all the swag.
It's tournaments.
All that and so.
Yeah, tournaments.
The way it's always been done is that all that after every tournament is taken back downstairs and put the cages and brought up to the tournament, sold, and then taken all back downstairs.
My opinion, but I think there's better. I went back there and it was.
Honestly, I haven't gone back there in a while because I don't have any reason to go upstairs. That's the
Do
reason
you
I
need
want
my computer for tournament stuff?
So, we call the meeting back to order?
No, well, yeah, you just share that. Teams.
You need it?
I'm just charging it right now. That's
So I think when we get to it, well, we just need back on the teams meeting, we can share that.
Start things down there.
Okay, so Nikki just wanted to, she was gonna be here, but she had to go to sell burgers at the track meet or something. Instead, gaming is now live, now that the golf course is open. The new machines have been added as well as pull tabs, and we need to hire 1 to 2 more people to be runners now that we're year round. To be a runner, you cannot have any relationship or ties to any board member, or you can't have any relationship to or ties to H&M Steakhouse or to the accountant's office.
And this is for the money transfer.
This is for the money transfer. So if we know anybody who would be good for that position that has no ties to the board, the H&M Steakhouse, the golf course, or the accountant's office. That would be
Really?
What does that consist of? Like how often is somebody?
every week.
So once a
It's
week?
one person, or is it like?
It's
rotating?
one person once a week.
No, it's,
You have that.
You have to have two.
Oh, sorry, yes,
Two
you're right.
people
Have
together
two
once,
people
and then
Two
rotate.
people once a week.
So they would rotate, 2 and 2.
Two and two.
Or however they decide.
Right,
It's
but they
more
need-
than the 2 people for year round.
Yep. Two
So,
2
MCHC and 2 H&M. While we're up there, we're going to,
so we need to find 1 to 2 more people that could fill those roles. So if anybody knows of somebody who would be available for those roles that have no ties to the board, to the steakhouse, or
Is
the
that something we
account.
just put out in our ads?
Yes, yes, it's something we're gonna have to put out, but probably something that people.
Part of the
Part of the
survey.
special.
not that we want to say this over live stream, but is it like a set?
It is a set time, set amount,
Okay.
that we will not discuss over
Yeah.
my feet.
Okay.
So,
It's not just random nilly-willy call up and say, hey, I need you here now.
no, it
Okay.
is very dictated
Set
by the
times,
state,
yeah.
how it has to go, so, provide that.
We can figure that out.
We work
I don't
on
think
the
we're
work center.
Or for it's what, anyways. That's something that we need to find a couple people that are
Current two people that are doing it, work, do it at a certain time of day, because it fits with their work schedule.
right. So, see that's.
But they have to, right, so they have to coordinate.
But it's not
at the
just-
same time, yeah, you have to coordinate time.
Coordinate time.
I mean, we should be fine with it in the summer, but once we open year round, that's when there's potential.
Okay.
And I don't know how, again, I don't know how quick this has to be done, obviously we'll see the results from it, if any results, we'll do it. And I'm thinking about the same thing, I said, if it gets overwhelming, start thinking about people, if nobody applies, that we can add. I don't think we need to add two, we just need to add one, maybe two.
Yeah.
We just need- So, we don't know what this year looks like, they don't know what the year looks like, I'm sure they just want to break, so, when it starts becoming overwhelming, bring it back up. Because we don't spend money that we don't necessarily need to today.
Any more engaging?
Nope.
So you had new policies as well?
We do that after days.
Okay. OPT then. Right?
We do open hockey or
OPT, open hockey.
getting kids on ice, I guess, is what that we kind of defined as. So I guess on that note, it's something that we need to decide. I think kind of the decision for came in that we're not gonna have OPT, we need to look for something different, on that aspect. So I think that's something that the committee can be put together and figure out how to host open hockey or open training sessions or open rental times. Or there was somebody mentioned doing like $40 and you get to come during whatever open hockey time there is, and just making sure that we have a volunteer here for that. To do something, but are we in agreements or non-agreements of doing OPT?
I guess there should be some discussion on why or why not you're choosing to go that route. Yeah, I guess in your opinion, but OPT wise, what's the head of why
Why we wouldn't be doing OPT? With the bid that we got for OPT, even though I believe it was a great bid, I don't believe that we will get enough people to cover it. The club would not break even financially. I don't think we can afford to not break even.
Well, it's not just about covering that cost.
It's got to cover that plus everything else that could be in there. So it's not just the people to cover the cost of the structure for OPT, but for everything else for the month. Where if we go backwards on it, it's not going to help our P&L. So
A comment that needs to be made though is we waited too long. Whoever it was, doesn't matter, waited too long,
We are.
now, we cannot let this happen again. It needs to be decided in January or so, sometime around there, not saying exactly. Months in advance, where people can be like, yes, I can afford that, hey, I might be able to afford that, or figure out my schedules going into spring so I can make that work.
Right.
Not 6 days before.
right now, I think it's too late, and there's baseball and soccer and vacations and everything else.
AAA hockey.
Well, there's
AAA hockey that are gone. So in January we would put out that was great.
Yeah, one comment to that, I think 2 to 3 months is a good buffer for registration. That in mind, we are there for all of it. Yeah, we need to start having that discussion, if that's getting kicked. My assumption is that's gonna get kicked to the hockey. Yes. So,
But what do we do right now?
The dates, and the dates for you guys are already there.
yep,
So it's just a matter of the schedule within those dates and who's running.
Is that
How those
September?
registration- 8/31 is OPT, so we standardized the dates last year, technically for 4/25/26. So every when it passes these dates, I can immediately go in, follow year's calendar, pick the exact same window, and re-update the dates of the website. So these have been here we've standardized fall and practice starts and try updates. Because we're having issues with people not being able to do trials because they didn't know until 2 weeks before trials. So if you go to the, go back to the, no, it's not there.
Go back to the-
I was looking on the inside.
Okay, where's this going? This is for the fall.
Yes, we're talking about planning for the fall, right? Because we're,
All of these is what I was curious about.
To me, that's,
That is OPT. That's the other.
That being said, last season, fall OPT got pushed because we didn't have ice on in time.
But that's what all of these entries are right here, is all OPT.
I'm assuming, I put those, yes, I put those in there tentatively
Okay.
for the Rough Rider agreement. Those are not exact.
Yes, but that was the idea, right?
So, that's what I was saying, get out of there, that's not gonna mean anything right now, but if you go about, standardized hockey days. It's literally the templates right there. OPT for fall, 8/31 and 8/25. The weekend of 8/31 is usually the offered weekend, so that means we will have ice out, but we currently have ice out now, it started, I thought without Hanson, so. Like, these guys will probably put it on starting 8/31, so it's ready for the weekend, but you can start over there until the sheet gets on, and then you can. So there's your dates, there's the trial dates, season start dates for every age group. We standardized those 2 years ago, so it's super easy for me to just roll the calendar over once these dates pass, the following season's on. So if we're not doing spring OT, I guess the point of the conversation is we're back was now the hockey committee, whoever chairs that, has the template to and goal to work for. So you're gonna be looking at who's gonna run it, how much is registration, and the actual schedule within that window. And ice won't be an issue because that's not legal.
to me though, we need to focus on what can we put on the handlers right now for the kids. I understand that, I fully grasp that.
Right. But I don't think we're gonna hash that out tonight.
That's something that once the hockey committee decided tonight, or the chairs decided tonight, then they form their committee and decide, starting the next week, of how we're gonna get kids on the ice. But without a chair, the 7 of us are not gonna solve the problems for them. But the hockey committee does need to, right now, start looking at fall, because if not, we're gonna be in the same situation in 2 months, or like, what are we doing for?
We're done being reactive, it has to be proactive and everything. That's been a failure for years. If we don't admit it, we're just fooling ourselves. This is not a good thing when we don't have something going on for the kids.
I agree.
Okay, so we're all in agreement on OPT and working towards fall with the new chair of the hockey committee.
Again, I don't think anything, even with the hockey committee, by the time we send the survey out, we're still gonna have 2 weeks before the people can get responses, and then.
For spring.
Whoever chairs it for spring. So
Yes.
it might be late spring, early summer by the time anything.
There's a lot of ideas, you can come up with little sessions here and there, get people on this.
Yeah, hockey can certainly be done with
Hockey,
hockey.
some hour skating, something, but that's for.
Somebody's gotta have the conversation, because 7 voices don't do any justice in their opinion on the push. Somebody just like take the lead and present the recommendation, and we just go, yeah, looks good, you got it figured out. That's the whole point, even if it's not a committee, like if the chair wants to just start on it without this committee, and gets up and running sooner, I would be okay with it, just bring one voice brings us the recommendation, and if there's any financials attached, we need to know that, and schedules, and then we just say yay or nay. It's every one of these topics is going to be overly crowded. We have one lead. That's the goal, is to not have these take 6 hours. So we have a plan ahead of time, presented, voted, move on. Whatever that plan is, whether it's hockey related, any of that.
Okay. Moving on. Minutes?
Okay, team's meeting. So I'm just gonna, Winter Classics, I mean, it's open, it's live, we had quite a bit, you can see right here, registered so far for this upcoming season for the tournaments, 22 and 9, it's also obviously on the team specific pages, so maybe I can look at that, that's fine. Financials should be in the dashboard under finances. So right now, this is what's been paid. Okay, similar classics. So anybody can go and look at that. I can actually update these, the webpage and keep that up to date as I get them in. The main point here. Okay, so I did steal Ryan's format for planning, so I didn't have to reinvent the wheel.
I know, I did it last time, but no.
That's. Winter Classic.
Yeah.
Cody asked, well, high school, right? But can we still hold a Winter Classic in high school and make money, even though we want to team?
Like, can we, yeah, most of
That was the question.
junior program.
I mean, it's a loss of mine. I know it's work. I get it. Don't get me wrong.
Give the high school all the registration and then we take concessions or something.
I don't want to speak for the high school, but based on everything I'm hearing, you're not going to get any help.
Okay.
So, I mean, if you've been to Winter Classic and help your entirety of the weekend, you're doing it with things your kids have on it, let alone putting your kids. Like, for example, Bantam, I have a B tournament. Last year we only had an A team. 2 years before that, we had a B1 and a B team. So, this will be 3, because the forecast shows we only have 1 Bantam team again this year. Next year, we should have 2 if everybody stays. Or 2 years from now. It's hard enough to control dibs in that scenario with only 1 team performing theoretically 2 tournaments at once. And then throw a tournament where we don't even have any teams in it is going to be extremely challenging. People are like,
Good Bantams.
here's the thing, the junior gold tournament is probably the most, and 19 tournament is the most expensive weekend we have. It makes the least amount of money. From a profitability standpoint, and yet
They still make money.
very little. Wrapping is the most expensive.
Concessions don't
The
work.
concessions don't make as much. They
Yeah.
barely sell any merch. From a cost perspective, we're saving a ton in the trophies, merchandise.
I just want to make sure we've analyzed that cost analysis thing that says, okay, we're only making 3,000 to 5,000. It's not worth our time.
That's
But if we're losing out on 10 plus thousand, I don't see why we wouldn't try somehow to put something on.
I also think after how.
Or put on another AU tournament.
huh?
AU makes a lot of money, right? What's your base money there?
AU sports and
Put on another tournament for them.
So,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I had the exact same idea. Why don't we extend our sport tournament to and bring on a third division to a C bracket, a B bracket, a A1A bracket, and make it 4 or 5 days instead of 3, or have a squirt Winter Classic invite and do like a high AA, AAA tournament with the lower kids as well.
So the theory behind not going past Friday, because I already asked to extend it to get more teams to Thursdays, is nobody wanted to lose a full Thursday with practices times 5.
Right.
Because we're already on a limited practice schedule as it is with 2 sheets and all the other program that goes in here that we work around. Okay, understandably, there's morning practice time we need to start probably really seriously diving into using. That's a different conversation for probably the hockey community to figure out coaching steps, etc. So it was turned down. It was voted no to not push it to Thursdays. I don't know how you go 4 or 5 days. It's even worse because I need 2 sheets. If I bring a whole other division on, that's anywhere from 8 to 12 teams here. Holy, I don't know when they'll be dying.
I would say that's not your best scenario. Your better scenario is having 2 separate weekends, which is
Okay.
equal.
Well, I didn't, the 80 wasn't even filled for the 1 weekend we have. So. Love the input, but, okay, you're not, I'm just telling you, we're actually, we're saving ourselves a lot of money and headache by not having that extra tournament just to happen. I'd be very, very hard pressed to think we'll get almost any help from anybody to run that on a weekend where nobody has any kids for.
These are valid debates. I think that's
But I mean,
understandable stuff. I mean, it's at least show where you looked at, right?
I didn't do it the first year because it was hard enough to get the other 5 off the ground, and then the second year I added it. We didn't get enough teams because it was the same weekend as the SAS first weekend. It was a lot more than coming, and it's more organized. Last year, I moved the weekend back, and obviously it was full. We had a lot of headache over on ice things, with specifically the issues. They just don't, they're out of, that parent group and that age kid group is out of spending the money that your kid. So you buy all this merch and they're the theoretical size thing and then it doesn't sell. You're left with stock. They're not sitting up here watching other kids' games for the most part to be buying raffle items. It just, they brought in the least amount of money by, I think it was $5 to $10 grand that was dollars.
And honestly, I wouldn't want to ask them back after what the town has to say about this year. So I think just off the table with 19U and let the high school deal with it. Good thought. I get where you're going, or we might be missing some, but I just think after the turnout this year and what all happened around town, I think it's just best if we keep that out. It's a concern, and it shows very badly on us. So I think like inviting them back now that we don't have to is awesome. That you don't even have to address it.
We can't deter the whole age group because 1 or 2 teams have a bad issue.
No, but like the parent teams or who got invited back per se for this 19U team or junior gold team, I called up Brian because I was in Canada and got a phone call and I said, as a voting member of this club, I do not want to see this team back, invited back to Walker. The parents have proven time and time again, and just stuff like that. So anyway, point being, I'm glad they're not coming back. That was, anyway, I think we just have a standard that we can withhold, and if we have other teams that linger from these other places still that like are a problem, I don't think they should be invited back on their level. I think they're willing to pay the money, great, but if they're being disrespectful and ruining our hotels, I would like to see a different team in the bantam position, in the 12U position. I remember it's a Canada team, so I don't know if we are gonna have that situation, but like.
That's for Jamie.
I'm just saying, because we were also in Canada being very respectful, and it's coming back to us in Canada, and it's just causing issues, and like, it's been stated by businesses, they're not welcome, like, it's just, you know. But that's for a tournament director committee to deal with after that, just my 2 cents.
You can always provide feedback too.
Thank you, I know I am, because the feedback from other parents was definitely strong that weekend of what teams should be invited to this tournament. And it wasn't from me, it was from out-of-town teams. I know we can't please everyone, but it does look terribly on us. That's all.
What else you got, Jimmy?
Well, we gotta select the away tournaments for all of our teams. So, the main point, Winterfest was not the main point, that's not until the winter. Nor can I control what parents are on what team. It rolls every other year, or even year to year, what parent, who's coaching, specifically Canada. They have completely different setup than we do, so I don't wanna, unfortunately, I can't vet any of these teams on a year-to-year basis. When we sign up, I have no idea who their coach is, who their manager is, who the kids are, I have no idea. And it will change, and I don't want to punish an entire organization for one team that had a bad stint. I would say that 98% of the teams that show up here do just fine. They're very pleasant. So.
Were there any other groups outside of junior gold that had teams that came to this tournament were away tournaments that we went to, that the results were not favorable, we're not even in the ballpark of favorable. You're talking outside. Score results. Score-wise, yeah, just from a compete level. I know we can't bet everyone, but I think one step that you might take would be to reach out to the coaches. If you can get that feedback from them, understanding, especially away tournaments, I mean, we don't have to worry about the high school level this year. That tournament we went to in Canada, we got outscored 30-1. Over 3 years. Again, you know,
And our state girls were to the same level on their side and took second. So, I mean, it's the exact same tournament, the exact same major, an A-level tournament. I mean, to me, I'm just gonna, that's where we were at in comparison. They have AA and AAA still above that.
I get you.
So, and they don't have.
And I mean, if you send the Grand Forks Junior 18, do they compete in that tournament? Probably. But still, just understanding the level, you know, maybe getting some feedback from coaches.
I think part of my goal will be maybe he's doing the signups that the communication of where what level she's signing up, because I know the correlation of levels from there to here, because obviously I've been dealing with incoming traffic. When she signed us up, like she sent her PBA and anime to the Brandon double tournament. That's fine if you know you have a strong team like our band is fine. I'm not certain how these we came in at AA this last season. But if they're looking weaker group, you probably want to push them down to the A side.
Yep. Yeah.
So that's more of the scheduler conversation.
And if it's a Nikki to the coach conversation, maybe they can help get that one.
Bringing you back to my point, and how we're doing this now is we don't have any coaches or any team.
We don't.
We don't have time to wait to get answers and responses back from these coaches.
From the existing teams from last year?
Not if we want to get on this, we are going to lose spots. Every day that goes by,
So what's the deadline?
Huh?
What's the deadline?
Already done.
The deadline for what? Every tournament is going to be open until it's full. And most teams are going to sign up by the end of April.
Hypothetically, what's your deadline? 2 weeks, week?
Well, it sounds like this week.
Yeah, I want to get their starting schedule these as soon as they become available for some of these. Like World PBA, for example, is full within 1 hour.
Right.
From the mail. No. Banners, because of the tournament director, the front offer texted me going in, and so he helped us and spot it, man, this works. That was after he stopped PBA, get filled up like that. That's cool too.
Fees.
So the longer we wait on this, the harder and harder it becomes to get in. Like Sport International, the deadline to get in there is June 1. You think that you're not on the wait list if you fought if you submit on May 31st. You're fine.
Fully understand.
So for the most part, I can go look at this, you know, if coaches put their scores up, I can look and see how they do. But I'm also not, I don't want to be, because our calendar changes year to year, just as much as the teams are going to play.
Well, and here's the other question is there a refund? If you get feedback down, if we sign up now, can we get a refund? If someone says like,
Most
I didn't know
ones
the
are
ones
no.
So,
North American ones within a certain time frame,
yes,
yes.
maybe.
You'll get a refund. Like ours is, I change it from 1 month before tournaments, date to 2. Because the longer they wait to pull out too, the harder it becomes to fill that spot because all the teams are already scheduled to go in.
Yep, I get you.
So, no, this isn't a hurdle. That's why I wanted everybody to look at this. What's currently up here right now is exactly where we went and sent everybody the last week. Okay? I did open up based on the forecast. We didn't have Sport C. Obviously, you got rid of 19 junior goal academy. I did open up because of the forecast Sport C. And the theoretical where they were going to go. So all this stuff in pink is where the teams went.
Did you look at those ones I sent you?
These are last year's places. I wanted you guys to do ahead of time.
I didn't look at the sheet, I can speak for.
Compare this to the options and give me, like, if we really truly wanted to change in a very specific location, because like, I know Kevin and I were texting about this fee issue. There's a couple of them that we probably want to maybe would want to just, maybe that team sticks to North Dakota and Rapid. Instead of sending, you know, 10 youth, okay, the giant one, we pull that back and maybe send them to a different one. So all these in red, these are our current winter classic dates for each age group that we host. So all these ones to the right are, if they're redded out, we can't go because it obviously our winter classic is that weekend.
Oh,
These dates are, I didn't go through and change the dates, are not going to be dead nuts on to this upcoming season. It's going to be within a week, pretty close. I can say less than a week, it's just a day ago. And then what originally I did was because the goal of why I did this was to not send the teams to the same places year in and year out, to play the same teams year in and year out that you play in your regular games, whether it's league or your doubleheaders or your short team. Right. So sometimes the team's going to take an asshole. But just telling you, like in my opinion, that's good. They get game experience, and over time, the games get closer and closer and closer. They're playing against teams better than them. I don't think anybody gets better by sending a team to Sydney and does the ass whooping every single game. That does that no good. So, is it unfortunate for a little bit of time? Yeah, but like our goal, in my opinion, for every team in our current club now that we're out of high school divisions is to get them prepared for that at the end of the day. So, you know,
Last week, right? Doing good, Jake.
I don't want, mind you, I don't want, it's not good for them to be 10, 15 trip,
But you have that, one or two teams every year.
especially at the, unfortunately, at the lower end levels, the east side of hockey, that's just, it happens in our tournament. I mean, what do you want me not to send a sport B team in our tournament? I'm pretty sure they got beat better than here. So, I mean,
No, I fully understand it's hard until you get a real good feel of all these tournaments.
yeah, I mean, it's,
Yeah,
the council changes
They're
their
on
own.
darts.
That's the biggest,
Yeah.
So,
I would just look at, you know, it was a great experience last year going to war, it was just good for the kids to see it, who do things like that. That's value, and so I'm not saying just war, but there's other options. Simple.
I mean, I can go through here, make adjustments to the teams I think need the adjusting, which would be obviously the lower level teams on some of the double of them, and then say, hey, I got this updated, can we prove this so I can send this to Nick and get rolling on it? Like, it'll probably be Thursday or first part of next week.
Sorry.
What do you want?
Yeah, so what are, like, do you want us to decide on it? Because, like, I know, like, obviously we have our sport opinions. I have 12 youth buzzing in my ear. I'm like, whatever, but, like, what can we do to help?
You guys went,
What can we do to help?
you guys went tiers and I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, no, we felt very confident in everywhere
Maybe
we
up an
went.
extra one out of your own pocket now.
We did, and we don't, we're not going back to capital stuff. The only, sorry.
That's my
Right,
point.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see this.
What we would like to see, and I think I just saw it on there earlier, was Bobo Luzman. Like, he would like to pick up Montana tournaments if doable, but that's not.
So
And
the
again,
general feedback I got from all the coaches and different stakeholders is if it's a B-level team, we probably want to stay within our district.
yeah.
So,
No, we
That's
did
one.
not have a very good
Okay.
experience.
so here's my point. If you guys give me the authority to, because those were the adjustments that was obviously
Yeah.
going to make with the lower level teams, and then I might tweak one or two A level teams to potentially different journeys, different
with it.
Good job, Jimmy.
Okay, so you,
Yep.
questions on it, just, you're good?
Yeah, do we need to make a motion
I
now?
don't think so, yeah.
We need a motion.
Now you have to come back down.
I have a motion that Jamie adjusts the lower level teams to some more appropriate tournaments and gives it to Amy to sign up.
Somebody just needs to.
Second? I'll second. One first and a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
I will make that down for the next 7 days. Yeah, about 30 minutes.
Is that all in tournaments? Okay, committees. Are we
It's just chairs.
deciding chairs
You
here?
just need to decide on chairs.
Do we need to make any adjustments to the descriptions, or is everybody good with that?
Oh, yeah, that was good. I was good with what Chris shot over. You probably need, the only thing I would say is, now that you, as long as everybody motions to approve your edits, to then go back, take the highlighter stuff out, give the final one, and you can email to me, I'll put it in SharePoint, or if you can figure that out, drop it into there, and then Sam can post it on the website.
What, yeah, just on my phone. Just on my phone, I gotta figure it out, so I'll probably shoot it over to you. But if you guys need it, sorry.
Is that not?
You make an agreement, I'll shoot it to you.
Yeah, just take out the highlights.
But I want you guys to.
I was fine.
Yeah,
Yeah, it looked good to me when I was over.
Right,
I
basically,
guess
did all the ways. A few additions went from your document, I added some stuff I found on the.
I thought it looked really good.
Okay.
We can always change it, or adapt.
We can amend the,
Just start.
I will motion to approve the committee handbook with Chris's edits.
A second,
All in favor say aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
cheers.
Or just shoot it, or same, straight to the website, I'll share, yeah, you have
Somewhere.
this one.
You can throw up SharePoint.
Huh?
Throw up SharePoint.
Oh, go back, if you go back to keep that.
No, I want him to finish his handbook.
So, I, like, if we, the only two that really are locked in, I guess, is Spencer and Jamie are probably not gonna move for budget and finance articles, right?
So, yeah.
So,
Do we need?
the discussion is for,
Each single one, or just a?
the discussion is for all the rest of them.
Yeah.
Who's gonna be taking which roles, right?
So I guess if anybody objects to that, discuss that now, otherwise, yeah.
Just go one by one. Start from the top where you're at.
Bylaws and governance.
So, yeah, whoever nominates.
Theoretically, Cody can place us.
First,
I feel like any of them, for me, to get a better understanding of the cloud itself, this is probably bylaws and governance, a good one for myself to be on, along with whoever else wants to.
Maybe it's one of these, no,
Okay.
just trying to keep something in it.
Oh, get them on a group somewhere.
Okay, so we got Cody bylaws, budget and finance, Spencer, Truman, and Jamie, so then the hockey.
Spencer, right, Jamie,
Okay, it's a hockey committee.
Hockey, mine, I have Chris on it. No one says Cody. I have Chris
Because
on it.
you looked at you got the first one, this is the updated,
Oh,
the live one.
A lot.
So I guess then all the rest of it is kind of a determination of who we think is gonna be the best at each one of those positions.
Take my name off the bottom.
I would
Take
say,
me off the facility.
I would say Chris is currently, Spencer switching roles, I would say Chris is probably the most passionate with hockey things.
You get with that, Chris?
Hockey too.
Yeah.
Committees, yeah. I think you'd be good at that. Yeah.
Fundraising marketing. Sam probably the most likely. That one. Equipment jerseys, Brittany probably the most likely one for that.
Okay, with that, Brittany?
Oh, yeah, very tough.
Which made that.
I do not want to do facilities. I don't want to do facilities again this year. I don't have 500 hours to spend in this building doing stuff, nor I do not want to do facilities again.
Can we split it?
Well, so,
I mean,
Wait,
Oh, here's the thing, Chair. Okay, so here would be my advice on this particular committee. I would still be the chair and actually give an actual legitimate committee.
Then we have a
delegate.
That's the whole purpose of all these committees. is
right.
It's to
Not
build-
anybody to help last year, just like right now, we can't get a ZAM driver to ZAM anything right now at all. There's very few people who are coming into ZAM other than the people who are renting the ice and ZAMing themselves.
Well, what if this new agreement goes through? That's not gonna be.
That's September, dude. We have a whole summer
I understand.
of literally nobody, dude, look at the ZAM group chat. There's people who said, I will not ZAM the rest of the summer. I've turned in my ZAM key, I am not ZAMing the rest of the summer. Don't call me.
Well,
Can
So-
we get
also
some
know
like
that-
health exam?
I also know that
That's the main issue.
an individual come this last weekend wants to access back, fix it, but I think he's wrong on how to, how to ZAM. I know there's people on the survey that when we put it out, there might be other people that currently aren't ZAM trained that will ZAM. I mean, think about it, you got, what did you get last year at the tail end, you got JC.
I got a couple people at the tail end.
Get Nate's butt in here, like the figure skater ones that learned, that really didn't.
Right.
Damn.
Well,
Aren't burned out per se.
And those guys, I mean, each one of those guys said, I can only do it this time, I can do it Tuesday, Thursday, before
If nobody wants it, I guess, I don't mind doing that stuff, but I'm not gonna be the guy who's a mechanic. That stuff needs to be hired out. That is not for committee members to be doing that stuff that we've done in the past. I mean, we gotta get to the point.
Well, yeah, it's off. Part of the discussion we had was, I know it's not until September, but it's making those issues right now that will be hopefully in the summer season. But part of the discussion we had, preliminary discussion, was that they would take more of the maintenance and not just theirs but ours, and we would just kind of reverse what we're doing right now. Where we maintain both, but they buy the parts for theirs, it's essentially a radio flip seat where they maintain both. And if any major parts and stuff, we buy from ours and that we own, and that washes out any rental usage agreement that we would theoretically need.
Yeah, if there's a,
Once that happens, right, so we're talking about hopefully 5 months worth of headache left
Yeah.
on that side.
But it might not be, we might be back in the same boat for one more year. I mean, I don't think we
The
will.
flip side is the second option is the partial turnkey.
Right.
It's still just doing it, but they would still do private. The way we had it was they'd still do private since there would just be MCHC limits and we would have to cover it in games. So,
the thing is too, if we're relying on, if you're just saying screw the committee or not being part of that, then you have to find other people who can do things that you're doing, but we need to know what those are.
It absolutely has.
Sorry, turnkey list of everything that what you do and organized structure.
It's, I would love to be able to say, you know, we can find 10 guys to be on the facilities committee right now, they're gonna come help, but even in the chat last year, I know you helped start at the beginning, right, and then we kind of fell away from that, the guys who are coming here all the time just don't wanna help anymore, they don't wanna do
I
it.
think there's a great opportunity from the survey to feel people out, really explain what each of these committees are, and go seek people who are talented in those areas, even if they don't apply. Like, go talk to them. There's always hearing opportunities.
Well, that's where a lot of the stuff fell on the director's plate last year, is this triage where we didn't have people to do it. There's gaps in the association, that was the one paid position that was there, and that's where it all got picked up.
Don't disagree.
So, I guess circling back to my original, because you're already in the know, if you be the chair again with delegation, and you have Chris to the committee as a second board member to flow the information to a theoretical replacement.
I can help wherever
Well,
to.
we have up to 3, so I mean, yeah, you put Cody and Chris with you, and then you get all the people from the survey to help, and you delegate certain things. Like, hey, Kevin, I'm the chair, but I'm gonna delegate all the Zam scheduling to Chris. I'm gonna delegate all the maintenance to Cody, like, you have to start unburdening one person with
God, with
Yeah.
games.
Yeah, the last year being able to unburden people was that, well, you know, it was pretty much a zero.
I understand that. We got 2 people willing to help with the committee who can help reach out to people that you may or may not know and have contacts with now. And I personally think from a chair perspective, just because the transition will be very difficult to someone brand new.
100%, because there's all this communication that you talk about, that you say, well, I talked to Sarah, I talked to this person, I talked to this. Well, that has to go away then. If you're not part of the committee, you have to pass that off to the next person. Well, there better be a good structure. There's going to be gaps that we have to go pay somebody to do this.
It's gonna have to be pushed off one to the other. I know how
If you guys will step in and help try to find some people or step in that option, I don't care.
Okay.
We just go over here, just.
Well, I know Chris Martin would not try to facilities.
I say you be next.
Stuck
This is that.
Hit on you.
Yeah, I mean, definitely.
I want to do this.
So Kevin and I talked about this from the disciplinary. He put in a lot of work with it last year. Seeing how the chair that was elected for that position didn't. He asked if it was okay with me. I was like, absolutely, 100%. If he knows what's going on, I'm gonna be fine.
And just for
And
clarity,
he wants
with
that.
that grievance form, I would assume that you're gonna have to give Sam to have that flow to you, so you can delegate with Jennifer, second, or whether it goes A with B.
Last year, I ended up working with Jennifer and with the disciplinary committee and actually started to get somewhere, an idea of how to go from what we started the year at to what we want to start next year at on some policies and a little bit more expectations, and then working with those groups on not so much. I mean, we had a number of opportunities last year where some kids were not as engaged as they probably should be, and we use those as educational sessions instead of just random sessions, right? And I think that ended up going very well. And actually, I can personally say that there was 2 athletes that I have in mind right now that we had an educational session, and I think they were some of the better athletes towards the end of the season. So, this one,
I think that workload is gonna create a lot of the things that we had to pack last year.
Yeah.
With that, plus the new vendors in the state, which I don't
yes, I'm pretty sure I'll know.
Talk to her, she's out, she would really like to start getting someone new in. She said she likes where you're going, she supports that, she would be back in, but
Have some ideas to bring
forward because she's
people.
past retired in this club, and I get that's the point. For disciplinary, I love that we have these ones coming back, I think that's important. She just, to me, it sounded like you guys did really well with everything, and she like loved where you guys were going. Just like I think just the transition and everything, she's just ready to be done. So if we can
I
have
think so too. I'm gonna try to use her a little bit during the summer
Yeah.
to work on some of those policies that we've
which would
been
be
working on.
fantastic. She's
But
very
the thought was to bring in some more, how do you say it, official uniform wearing people to maybe assist in some of those to get some insight on things like that.
Yeah, no, that was just my
So
first
you want
one.
to chair?
I would like to share if you guys are okay with that. Is that anybody opposed to me sharing this plan again?
Kevin, you're the chair.
The only thing I would say is we should look at that grievance form a little differently.
Yeah.
I don't like that it's Google form, because you have to have a Gmail account in order to fill it in.
I think I want to try to change it to a fillable PDF, which
I think we can do something through sure.
Yeah, like you should be able to, or Microsoft Forms, things like that, that I think if we looked at that a little differently, I think.
Yeah.
we could.
That's what we ran all our surveys off of. We didn't get Gmail accounts to fill out. Ever since ever ran this, we have including Google surveys and Google Forms.
Yeah, but you have a Google account, or a Gmail.
No, not right.
So not
I'm not the scale results, I can see all the email tags from people and it's
Because
not.
I know before I tried it and it hasn't worked, but it's just something that we could. It's not my main name on there.
Your main name is Linda, by the way. That's it.
So with that, we'll look into
Yeah.
this later. There's a lot of work to be done.
Concessions?
I think the person makes sense most is Brittany.
Yeah.
It sounds like Sherry has half a committee already put together, so.
I already had my words with Kevin. They were nice. No, that's fine. I think, like, even if we can dictate where we're trying to go, I think we won't have any problems. Me and Kathy are best buddies.
I'm just saying like that. It seemed that Sam did not seem to have a huge work.
No, I think Kathy is a huge asset,
Kathy's
for
just
sure.
got it.
I just would like we more refined and organized, and that's what I'm thinking.
I think, yeah, like we say organization and trying to find things where there's maybe some additional gap of earning some revenue.
I do advocate a lot on plate, but just previously, how I got into concessions to begin with was I just shared it with Jada. It's just easier with two people,
Yeah.
so we're just
Absolutely.
Okay, specialty positions.
That's
We
something
need to-
we gotta
we
make
need-
answer.
Do we gotta make,
Well,
oh, okay.
are we, do we need to vote on the committee chairs?
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, right? We
What's that?
need to vote on committee chairs before we move on, make sure everybody's okay with what we just decided.
What should we be doing tonight with committees? Is these chairs and the handbook? and-
Yes, but do we
But
need
like,
to vote on who we just decided on?
Yes.
Yes, so we need to do that.
I'll make a motion to approve the current forms chairs for the committees.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. All opposed, same sign.
On this, we'll keep this document live too, if you think of somebody who could be a good committee prospect. Well, I guess you can just look at the
Chair, you get the survey results back.
Yeah.
I don't have anything, this is what the outcome is. It's, everybody get a chance to, obviously.
Obviously, high school girls.
Any, for clarity, the parentheses, I'm gonna close my side. The parentheses is could go to, like,
Move on.
could move up, right?
Yeah.
So these four are actually 12U age, or could go up to 12U. But they could also, because we have a trial technically here, with the 10U, 12U could also still play 10. Because the 1 year going down to the state laws of course. These two theoretically, if they wanted to, because they're gonna be in 9th grade, could go. I could stay at the 12U / 14. This is the one common line.
Well, 8th grade, we can try out. If there's,
Right.
they actually open baseball in 7th grade this year. So it can open up all the way on 7th.
You can, but you're not gonna have many 7th graders.
No, I'm just keeping in mind that that's sort of what it is.
You have the JV1 and the JV2.
I think we're, not to interrupt, I think where Chris is coming from, and this is just where Brinley's teetering right now, right? She's an 8th grader. If you have, and again, this is projected forecast, if we have 4 girls not returning for this high school team per se, you know, Caitlin's not gonna be up there, so it affects, you know, Lenny's not gonna be up there, but Addie and Brinley, Brielle plays in Alexander, she'll have to go play Williston, like, have we, no? Or, she doesn't have to?
That's not done yet.
Okay, I'm just asking.
It's sport, it's possible, but I've already, it's the first thing I said to Brad, is it needs to capture Alexander's hockey, they go sport by sport, not those.
Okay, that's what I thought, because they can pick, or at least the girls, no?
They have to make a deal, so Wilson grabs certain sports from Alexander, Wapner grabs certain sports, it's sport
Oh,
by
so it's
sport.
still
So
open.
since we just got hockey, the first thing he needs to do is make sure it captures Alexander, because it's not just her, it's.
No, it's multiples, yes, I know, because that's where our split's already
I
covered.
got that covered.
Okay, I'm just making sure, Jim.
Yes, this side is definitely significantly worse than the boys' side. There are other avenues that could happen, I get it. What we need to be advocating, we can scroll back up quickly.
Back up?
My personal opinion, to be keeping this down. Otherwise, this gets younger,
Yeah,
these go up, this gets younger, because you're pulling up
Yeah.
yes.
80 to make the team. So, you know, and obviously the girls and the quits or whatever. So, we need to do as best convincing we can to keep this line right there. Because as you can see, with everybody coming back in this group, as it stands, it's 12 skaters in the group. Then you scroll down to 10U. If this is, I took a little bit of assumption here in the evaluations. Right? 12 and 1 with this current team. And then AU, this is all you got. For girls. And AU, 4. Could go up there. Otherwise, you're leaking into here and that's when you become a state. It's too near move up issue. Or we're going to be playing really short-handed, or the worst option, in my opinion, is there's not enough here, and guess what? Now they're going to the boys' side, and not every girl wants to play the boys. We've been down this path before, and tried that program for a few years. Because then they don't come back into this group, because they quit hockey. And by the time they get here, they're too far. It's very hard to get back. I will say that. So this needs to be a point of emphasis to keep. And by the way, the new rule that just went in the email from the state, girls cannot play on 2 teams, so there's no more, if you play the boys, you also can play the girls, you have to pick one or the other.
One or the other.
Is that always been done?
No. It used to be in NEHA, they're voting on that proposal right now. In the NEHA, USA Hockey's that way, but in the NEHA it says girls play both. They're trying to eliminate down rostering period now.
That's what boys and girls.
The boys can the girls can play.
Double roster. No.
Double rostering is, well, if you can avoid it, they're gonna deny you unless you can prove you need it. Okay, so they're coming here, if they register, you know, there might need to be communication of that, like what you register is where you're playing. So for those doing this, I'm gonna try out see where I make the boys team and then flow back over to the girls. We have the authority to say no. That's the call. That's what you try out for, that's what you register for, that's what you're doing. So just keep that in mind, not saying that's what we're going to do, but that it's an option. So Pee-wee's look good for 2.
With focus needs to be is recruiting, we need to build that.
Yes.
This is also pointing that out at the LTSL to P level, AU level is obviously where we need our biggest game. Boys, I don't know that any band is going to be worth trying out because they can only dress 20 and roster to 30. But my guess is, yeah. So it's not going to be. I mean, unless you've got. I don't know. Like, one of the better kids wants to try out and kick one of those kids out. I mean, yes, I guess that's an option.
Yeah, it's high school, very good.
But yeah, they're playing to win. So if a good kid wants to forego his second year bands, that's one of the top kids, and he's going to get first, second line minutes. I mean, it would be but what else? Because the bands is our contentious point here. We have again 20 theoretical roster, 18 and 2. So I put a little notation in there. I'm not gonna read it out loud, but that's where my head's at. Because of last year.
He's still playing wrong.
He tried his best.
So
He's a busy person.
So it says Bantam A with clubs or
I
practice.
just said I didn't want to read it out loud yet, Joe.
So,
I know I had people in it up before.
so birthday wise, any of those kids are in 9th grade this year, wouldn't be able to still jump out and play for Adams next year, if say we get that or something.
In 9th grade, what now?
From high school. So a lot of the younger kids on the
High school is 10 through 12. It's not out of 9. Bantams still go through 9th grade.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Right, if they-
All of those kids are have to.
Someone tries out.
All those kids in red have to go up to high school.
Yep, have to go.
Have to.
And then the only way to alleviate roster size issues
Is if
some
Warren
of
plays.
those 8th
Yeah.
graders go up.
Well, soon to be 9th.
Yeah.
This is their
Some
last.
of those 9th graders.
This is
next
their,
year's
this
last
is their grade. They were
Previously,
in.
8th
It's their last
graders,
season.
yes. 25, 26, 8th graders, so the 9th graders move up.
Yes. Correct. But that's not the only way to alleviate the issue.
Yes.
Pee-wees looks prime, so again, Adams looks prime for 1 again. You know, there is another situation where that very bottom one, play with your grade candidate that could still also lead the issue. And we had this issue last year with one of the kids. Had to stay down, so that's the notation. Pretty, and I made a note at 11, so it's play with grade visits. So he could stay out. Medium one with the freshman folks. Peavy's looks pretty good for 2 teams. Doesn't stand stage. Everybody comes back. Sports actually look to be good. If everybody, this list stays true. Obviously, all those AU kids that are 3rd graders next year or in that 3rd grade, that 1 year move up category go up. It does look like a prime for 11 for 3 teams and probably each for 3 levels there.
I think this might be something we're you have a kid who's gonna destroy your whole practice, your whole team is not getting that.
Maturity wise.
Maturity wise, we ran into that this year, right? Instead of getting 10 reps, we got 4 reps, we didn't get any better reps.
If they're, can you hold them back from tryout? That's another.
I mean, anybody can try out, right?
No. Within 1 year, we will.
Within a 1 year move up, right? Yeah,
Those are
so-
all the 1 year kids.
Right, and some of them need to move up.
They're all moving other than his, but he's young, are all moving to 3rd grade next year, all within their 1 year.
Yes, but even with the 1 year move up category, some of these kids are not ready to move up.
Well, you're also talking about splitting the 3 teams, and hopefully gets all of them on the same kind of playing ball. A little bit better. You guys had, last year we had a bigger team at the top, the B1 and the B level. The theoretical best practice is 10 and 1 at each team at that level, so they're getting a regular shift. So I would say teams are a little more diluted than they.
But that's what evaluations, the coaches are shuffle.
Well, not every one of those kids, here's the deal, not every one of those kids maybe want to move. Like, one of those kids last year with Y is kind of the first year. Last year, so I mean, yeah, everybody else is not a first year one, but there's gonna, again, there could be some other intangibles. This is just a forecast. Some other intangibles that could come into play.
There's girls that can come over to spurts. I can even grow this more.
But threaten the other ones. But threaten the other ones.
That's right, yeah.
But I mean,
Which, anytime anybody moves from one to the other, friends, tell us or get
Oh, yeah.
promotes it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that is what it is.
we're gonna go over.
I forgot one. I'll take the show.
What do you have?
Just didn't have it. They don't change anything. So, and then you can see where our AU sits, which is not very big. This is purely birth year, right? Like, I know we AU battles with the whole group of AU kids in PP. This is strictly by birth year as it stands right now. But our AU group is still not very big, just the AU age appropriate kids, less the 3rd graders, we're at 17 is all.
We got some work to do.
I think,
And LT is something to be that. Between boys and girls,
I think with being able to get into the schools this year, I think I have faith that our numbers will grow.
I mean, that's a
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
thing, because the school's gonna wanna allocate now just as much.
Yes.
Yeah, well, the school's gonna want to
Actually
start
work with
everybody.
us as well.
So even if it's each grade, 2 more kids jump on every year, that'll be huge. So, and maybe we'll find a hell of a hockey player in one of those.
You never know when you're gonna find a little Maddie Green about 8th grade year.
Any more on the Oscar forecasting? Comments, questions? Okay, on the surveys.
Did everybody look at those surveys?
If you updated it, there's a couple, I know there's a couple additions.
You're talking the surveys we're sending them.
Yep.
Yeah, I commented on.
The date, these, right? Yes. So I turned that into like an actual circle for that email.
Did everybody get to look at them? Surveys?
I just wanted a couple comments on. We didn't have committees or special
Not in that, in the email itself I broke down. Because that was just strictly questions in.
Unless there was.
I had did.
Just discussion while she's looking for this, the ones you guys looked at, anybody have an opinion? I mean, I chose option 2 and the coaches.
As that, I just had a couple. Like one or two.
Yeah, minor fears. Does anybody else have any suggestions?
Option 2,
It just seemed like option 1 was asking a lot the same question over and over again, and 3 was pretty, not as warm, but inviting to take in feedback. And that's why.
Drafts.
You're gonna sense. Okay, let's keep moving on this one.
Okay, contracts for camps.
Okay, I forwarded a few things to everybody regarding camps. To me, I know you were going to make you looked at an agreement. You want to just, at this point, to me, I'm sorry to her, but she's scheduling. I feel like she needs to send the thing over to the
Yeah.
inside.
Oh,
So, the only one I didn't find was, looks like Will Robert can't make it this year. So we obviously have Mario Johnson, Prohibition, I can forward you that one. Then the only one I didn't find was this Elephant Hunt.
I can send it over to you.
you should, by the way, I'll get Nikki Sue.
Can we build a spreadsheet for the camps for this year and maybe the last 2 years? Just so we can see who's been coming and maybe other options that we considered. Should have a nice little file for the camps. Who should actually, is that a board thing to handle, or should I go to one of the facilities, or Nikki, or like who should be handling it? Is that for us to talk about?
Yeah, like who brings the camps in?
Yeah.
I don't know how's it work, do we send it in and ask, or what?
We ask that. Sometimes, some of them that are regulars will obviously ask us to come back.
Okay, so we're reaching out.
Sorry, I'm gonna reach out, or they'll reach out to us, and they're like, Mario obviously contacts us every year to tell us what games is free, and we bring that. Prohibition just, they came last year, and they threw it on our website before they let us know. So, we gotta handle the things they have. But like, kind of hockey wanted to come back, so they reached out. Robert is typically a usual suspect here, but he booked up, so I want to reach out to me and see
So who usually handles that contact?
either the board or if we have a rep. But again, it should to me fall the purview of to your question, do we have a spreadsheet of previous?
Can we make I can make anything.
Awesome. You can start with it. Or you can get stuff from the past.
You got the knowledge.
Yeah.
Populate it yourselves.
You got a couple extra hours in your day, you don't need that soon.
That's not how quick you fire out all those folders in there.
I was on fire.
Grandpa you keep going.
But I didn't have to build anything, it was just,
Yeah.
I had a lady email me the other day from like an Ulta skating, I can pull it up too. She wants to do a figure skating. She talked to Nikki and then Nikki sent her my way. She wants a figure skating camp. Do we need to approve the camp for figure skating for one of the days? Okay.
yeah, well, this is where it gets a little tricky because we don't broadcast for figure skating club.
Yes.
She should have put her in the direction of JC or Jane.
They're electing new board members on the 21st, so they're.
Whoever that is who they should flow to,
Yeah.
and then they just need it, like, so they can advertise for it and everything, but they just like any other rent, they're gonna have to rent it for $200 an hour.
Yes. But we don't have to approve a figure skating camp as long as the figure skating club wants it. And it's kind of available.
Even if the
They
figure
can
skating club doesn't want it, they
Yeah.
can come here and rent the ice, and we said, yep, they're paying us the ice that no matter what.
Yeah.
We just have to approve allowing them to come, because it's a special.
Do they do powers?
She does.
I say that, yeah.
She's out of those.
In her email, she has stuff for power skating.
Yes, she's originally, I'm pretty sure, originally out of those.
It is the Devil's Lake lady, isn't
Yes.
it? Yeah, because we're going this summer. I know she's coming to Watford.
Well,
Shakespeare.
for figure skating.
Oh, well, maybe we can
But she said that she would be willing
I was saying, yeah, when we called her,
do
she
power
said she
skating
would.
for us if we were interested, so I can pull that up, you know. and
I would throw that ball right in his court for the hockey side and right in the figure skating club's court for
Okay.
them. And then they just need to schedule with Nikki.
Okay.
All we have to do is, she just has to look at what dates were, and then we're all gonna say, yeah.
I'm gonna go for the Devil's Lake.
Yeah.
I was like, awesome.
Contracts
See you
and
next time.
I don't think there's a motion here, the,
Yeah.
it's on there, I just need, so they get done, we're gonna, Kevin and Nikki are gonna work on getting it done.
Okay. Sam, you found what you were.
Yeah, so this was, the draft that I had made for the email, so this breaks down.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. So it just is a brief overview of everything. We can direct them to the website with the full,
Yes.
community, yes, the handbook on it once we make the changes and we get it.
That's good too.
Just the highlight, yes, but then once we
Do
do
that
that,
way more.
But
Yeah.
what I was asking was, on the actual survey of questions, is there an open box for them to fill out? Would you like to participate in
an open.
any of these committees and or special positions?
Sure, okay, yeah, I can add that on there.
That's what I was asking,
Okay.
because otherwise you're just telling them like, hey, these are open, but no place for them to put
Yeah,
them.
okay, yep, I can add that on there.
And then, yeah, you can provide a link to the full committee handbook once it's.
Okay.
That was my only change to version 2 and the coaches.
I didn't do one for the coach, email for the coaches, but that can be a lot simpler than this one, because it's just asking them to fill it out. And then we wanna switch it to like a week before the next meeting, so that we have to
Give it-
kind of analyze
give it
it.
time.
Yes, it gives them 3 weeks and a week for us to analyze it.
Okay, so all motion with the addition, the survey version 2 and the coaches 1 with the addition of that committee / special position. Right in. For Sam to send out.
Okay, second.
Got a first and a second, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Equipment returns.
Our equipment chair will start taking care of that.
Yes, cool. We have a non-returning equipment lady that would not like to partake in next season, which is fine because I've already started building my committee of meetings that are going to be very organized. So my first action is to get down there inventory, start that whole shebang, do a spreadsheet, we're broken, misplaced, expired down there, I noticed.
Helmets for sure.
Helmets for sure we need to work on, so I have a group of like 4 very organized ladies that we're gonna just,
Stretch out that Velcro.
yeah,
There's a line.
I know, and I'll report back to you where we're sitting after that. But as equipment returns, Katie does want to help with that, obviously, because she has, I'm assuming, this spreadsheet. I'm assuming, I don't know, so she wants to help with returns, she just didn't know a date, everyone's been asking about a date, so here I am.
You have keys, but if you have something, you know.
Okay, like,
This is you. Good to go.
no OPT, like, I don't, like, we're just doing returns, right, and that's all.
They're gonna rewrite it for
So
some.
they're gonna for $50, because they can utilize it for.
Okay.
Cans, whatever.
Anything different.
Yeah.
But they need to be,
You wanna do equipment returns, put it together, send an email, just do
Got it,
it. This is a you problem now.
thanks, Kev.
Do you know how to do a roofing up there?
I do not yet. I've been letting you guys are doing great. Let me tell you, when I like drive for 3 hours and you guys are all planning all this stuff, you guys are great.
I'll get with you and show you.
Yeah, I would say I can even come in. Is it easier?
Whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, he showed me.
Okay. Oh,
So,
we can handle it.
yeah, it's super easy.
Okay, so equipment returns will be here shortly before long. I'll get with my committee.
things like that, you just have time.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I was just hoping there'd be a spreadsheet to go off of.
Well, I don't speak for you,
Yes,
assuming
yeah.
you're gonna keep Jennifer out there, will continue to help.
Correct, on the Jersey side of things, I'm gonna keep
They're
it
grass
that.
there.
I got JC on there that wants to take it over, Kat Arnold wants to help her, so those two are gonna be my 2 head ones, and then I have Megan Jelson and Aya Carlton are my other 2 moms. They are so organized in that way, so, I'm actually excited to get in there kind of, just to see where we're at, but.
Yeah, I don't know, okay, so it's just,
Yeah, and if not, well, I'll make it, I was assuming there was some form of rental.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, my problem, it's my problem, I got it.
Any more questions or comments on equipment return? Moving on.
The new policies, sent out one, I think that's one I had here, we're gonna have throughout the summer, a bunch of new policies and procedures we want to follow for next year. So, we'll start sending in new policies. I sent the one in for, non-voted positions, whoever to kind of follow along with. How we put it out, all that, so that we have standards.
And it doesn't, well, you see a bunch like we're gonna have 500, there's a whole handbook that is gonna go with that, and it's for policies in it.
I know, and there's policies that are not in the handbook, we can speak over them. We probably need that.
So you're wanting to add it?
That's it, his committee's core.
Yep, so, maybe I'll just send that to you and let your committee, go with that.
Okay.
Analyze that first.
Okay. All right.
Sometimes you don't have to read that every time.
And lastly, director contract. Discussion?
You pull it up.
I don't know what you pulled, I just.
There's nothing to pull up.
Back to T, yeah, he was grabbing his computer like he was ready to pull something up, so I was going
I have to
back
refresh my memory on that. Okay.
to.
I'm old for you.
Just, that's all it was. I guess I'll kick off. From what we see on the financials and everything analyzed there, we need to straighten out all those areas in my mind before we understand what we can afford, what we can move, what we can do. We're only, I don't want to shoot from the hip and just jump in and then we're going to regret it because we can't be financially stable. Now, we need to fix that stuff. We can't just accept that and say, well, that's the fact, or that's the way it is. It's not. Like, we can fix that. These committees have to be formed to fix stuff. I believe we need a hockey director. I think we do need somebody in that spot to be need a single source to organize, to structure things. I believe right now we have too many people with too many agendas, too many ideas, doing different things. We need to silo that. Now they can tweak their things at those levels, but we need a vision. That's, I guess my point is that we do need people or a person in that spot to handle those situations for the long-term benefit of our club, honestly.
I agree with that. Long term, we need to establish a budget, hold a budget for that position. And clearly define what that position is. I know you stated that that position can help us define some of that stuff. I think we as a group, in our committees, whether it's governance, hockey committee, we can help define a lot of that role better, define our operating procedures better, to help put that person in a place for success in the future.
There's tons of stuff out there we can take from Uber. Like you said, don't reinvent the wheel on things. Well, that's one thing that's done across the nation. There's people in those positions that we don't have to try to figure it out on our own, and we can take those examples.
To me right now, obviously, being financially sound for it, you have to hear from my committee if it's for this year, but oh shit, next year we can. Needs to be hammered out. And then there's the other side that I mentioned in the last meeting about figuring out the legality side of which route we're going contractors. Two, and if we go contractor, which is, in my opinion, the preferred route, just to avoid the tax thing and all that other stuff, is really dial that into that flow for all.
Yeah, I don't know that aspect of it.
We got work to do.
If it's
Before we throw anything out to anybody from a contractual standpoint, we're close, but we have work to do.
Yeah, I think not having one this year, I mean, there's disadvantages to it, and financially, it provides breathing room. And I think largely in the past, we've operated in, there's money out there, we'll start it, let's just do it, and we'll find the money, and make it up as we go along. And I agree with you, we need to have a better plan.
It's like putting a budget there, like we want it, it's okay, we gotta earn it, we'll figure out how we're gonna pay for something. But I don't like the answer of, well, we rely on somebody's donation or something like that to provide for that. And then all it takes is one thing to hold the rug pulled away and then you come out to the high.
Yeah.
We have to make that
I
decision.
think
We
this
don't like that.
same argument that you're making was made the year of town started. It's the exact same argument. We didn't have the money, we knew it, and then somebody came in and was willing to help with that. And now we're back into the
And if
same.
we can get to a place for our revenue streams to be able to just sustain that, that's great. But I mean, looking at the past financials without having donations and grants, we don't get anywhere close to that. But I guess unless we have perpetual donations for that position or change our cost structure drastically, and that's something
Like
we
these gaming and stuff like that.
Well,
that's,
again, there's other paths to success, right? Like, my reading, I'm not an expert, which respects what we come in by the end of this with gaming side, but we can utilize that money more than we think we can. It can be utilized for any expenses on our organization, so that could be what we utilize and pay for that position. However, with having this new gaming location with a new operator and now year round, we have no idea what that's going to look like.
Could bring it 10 times more or nothing at all.
I just don't know. I mean, I assume that.
I think I'm fundraising sponsorship.
There are a couple more options, Chris mentioned that do have their license now.
It's like every half, it's worth it.
Yeah.
100%. When you go to a ring, go look at their ideas, what they got going on. There's tons of stuff for this now.
It's been brought up a million
I
times.
also
This whole building should look like a sponsorship look.
Well, what's the answer?
Because we
It's
don't
not
pay
our
it. It's not ours yet.
So we can't do that, but there's probably other ideas.
we have,
We're in class of ours.
we have the form we sent off for them to work off of. The other sponsorship opportunities again, thank you, Lisa, for starting that. But a user agreement would be a huge part of our budget too, because right now we're playing with inconsistencies. And at least when this gets done this year, we will have a solid number, and that would be the number. And that's what we have to make sure we have to spend in our budget for next.
I'd like to hear what everybody thinks. Do you think we need a hockey rink? Everybody, I think we do. I think we should. That's my opinion. I'm one person. I think everybody needs to know where these things are. So we always hear from the side wings of what people's thoughts are. But people listening or whatever probably should know your thoughts on that kind of stuff, because that's what people tilt on. And they're gonna walk away and think,
I think we ultimately need one, but I think there are other more important issues to solve before we can have a consistent path for success with that.
I definitely think there's pros to having one, but in our current situation, we need to reset. Like you and Spencer and Jamie and Kevin all said, reevaluate, make sure we're financially sound to take on that burden without relying on everybody else or donations.
I think to define what that position all entails, to see at what capacity we need somebody. Is it full-time, is it part-time, is it, what makes sense?
the reason I lean more heavily towards the two, it's for consistency, in my opinion, but it's somebody that can dedicate the time that we all don't have. Because if you're not here, well, I just don't have time for that, or we've got so much going on, I got work, I got this. Well, that's what that person could be doing, focusing on their kids, right? And that's why I think you need the people in that for long term, especially if you're going to be competitive at the high school level. That's my opinion. But we got to be able to afford it. We need to figure that out. It's the job here to correct that, because we're obviously not a good spot.
Any thoughts, Brittany?
Yeah, sorry, I also agree that, like, I think it sucks the position we got in. We kind of shot ourselves in the foot. Like, I think, bringing a whole family in and then just sorry about it. But now we're in the financial, clearly, that we need to figure out. I think a director is so beneficial to our club where we sit, just for the fact that it does, keep tabs on our coaches better. There was multiple times that he was having discussions, he was doing a lot more, and again, I know the contract has to be more specific moving forward, but I think it's a huge asset to us. I think it's a great source. I think it's important for the director to have more of the coaching, spread them out where they're supposed to, so it doesn't fall back on the board, because for years I've been watching it consistently fall back on the board, and we're making the same mistakes every single time. And I think with consistency towards the Rough Rider or to the high school, I think it would be beneficial. Right now, it would be beneficial in our finances, absolutely not. We shot ourselves in the foot, now we gotta fix it, right?
To be clear, with what you're describing, at least my viewpoint is that
And again, yeah.
saving even more.
And I see I get that point. I get, like, from the get-go, this director position has been a very, big topic, and I feel like sometimes we bite off more than we can chew. But I think it's an asset that we would need eventually. I just, looking at the financials right now until we have.
There's no saying we can't get these teams to get after it in a few months down the road. All right, we sit here and some stuff. We feel a little more sound in place. We've had time to discuss it further, put boundaries and the vision on the map, and we can pursue it at that time. In my mind, obviously it takes some room to decide on that, that's,
Yeah, I mean, there's gonna be a lot of moving parts. You know, bylaws of governance, you probably have time with legal. Get that stuff ironed out, whether it's a two contractor. From what I'm hearing everybody say, and from having dealt with two different scenarios, well, one scenario, different uses. We're probably looking more for WT than you have the control, but you can also give them the power of a contractor can hire and fire, can do things like that. So they can't unilaterally just make decisions without approval of. So WT employee, as long as we give them the power to do that. But now the budget because of taxes and all that other fun stuff is got to be even more.
Where you go up, or you have the responsibilities when it comes to part-time position,
Or yes.
and then you have to find someone that can do it as work, and I know that if the work is 50 to 80 hours a week, and it's tough to find someone.
but I don't think we just drop it, walk away. We need to continue focusing on building that with legal or what path we would take. So if it comes up, we can want to pull the trigger. We don't want to start the
Well, that's
process.
just saying, yeah, this one group's gonna have to take care of the contractual side and probably the description side and job description in conjunction with the hockey committee, provide them with the initial description in conjunction with fundraising, marketing, and budget finance to figure out, I mean, it's like a four committee,
Got the whole Venn diagram.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know, based on different tasks that are the whole thing.
That's probably gonna take months to figure out
Oh, it will.
if.
Well, you got a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly, I mean, it's gonna take time to figure out if.
I mean,
Well, I think we all agree that that's where we want to go. But we're trying to find that, and it might be a moving target as we're developing the different committees and meetings out. I can afford.
I can tell you that. We've gotten better from the first one to the next one. I mean, we're also in the infant stage of having a director as a club, right? So we're also learning and having one just as much as they're learning. So maybe we have to recognize that as members. It's not like we're, grandfathered by the director for 20, 30 years. You know, they could have a new director come in and all this stuff's already in place for them to kind of take over as long as they've got experience. I'm not saying they're not going to change or anything like that, but I mean, they have. The club is used to, right? We're not used to having one in that full-time position, and we're also so used to having the control that it's tough for us to let it rain at times too. It's not a knock on anybody, it's just the reality.
I think having a director would be beneficial to the point. I think at the stage we're at right now, we have a long way to go before we're even able to figure out what that looks like, right? It's a form committee put together, what does that look like? Who is that person? Who's the right asset? Or do we build the correct asset for that, right? It's more than just hockey, right? It's hockey in Wallford City and the uniqueness of Wallford City, right? How many people understand what Wallford City is really like?
North Dakota.
Right. Well, you go to North Dakota, right? Because North Dakota and Minnesota hockey run completely different than the rest of the nation, right? Different age brackets, everything else, right? It's a lot of learning, building an asset, or finding an asset that is here already. And then it's Wallford City hockey. Wallford City hockey is different than anything else except for maybe Williston and Sydney, right? Williston and Sydney are probably the two closest to us, right? What happens with oil hits $50 a barrel? Bye-bye. Right? What happens with oil hits $120 a barrel? Hello?
Nothing apparently.
Nothing apparently except for fucking 100-hour work weeks, right? So I think we have a long road ahead of us. I think Spencer's right. We have a target. That target's going to move, right? What that looks like, but having somebody in that position, I think, is a goal for us to look at through this next year, this next season of what is that truly that we do need, right? I think I'm really excited with the 4 new board members to build something that would be sustainable, right? That's not, and I'm gonna use this term very, very loosely because I don't know a better term. That's not the old guard, right? We have a lot of new guard or people who are disassociated to some of the old. And I'm excited to see what we can do as a group to put that together to elevate our program, right? And I think having a single person, whether that's part-time, full-time, or whatever, we put together. But Chris is right, the finances have to be there. Jamie, it's gotta be sustainable, can't be, we got donations for this year hiring, right? I would hate to see a director come in and be here a year and go, we can't afford you, sorry. Like, I don't
Is that not the situation you're in right now? I'd like to put it on record for all the membership.
Okay, we'll let you talk when we get done with the discussion. I'll call you back.
Thank you. So, I think having a director would be beneficial to the club. I'm not against the director.
Yeah.
For that.
Any more comments from the board for discussion? Right?
Very short and sweet. I turned down a 3-year contract because it didn't benefit the club at the time from a legal standpoint. If it was all about the money, I'd sign that piece of paper and we'd have much different conversations. I was told by various board members at the time, when we've got new, we've got old, to have faith. I can tell you right now, from my position, it does not feel good to not have any income, to move my family across the country, and to listen to this be the tone of the conversation. That's rough. If it was all about the money, I don't understand how a 3-year contract was even tabled in the first place that I was trying to hammer out alignments on. That doesn't feel like faith, that feels like deception. That's all I'll say on that.
Any more comments? Discussion?
I think we own something that makes value. I wasn't involved in the contracts previously. I don't know what was said leading up to the contract agreements.
And I also want to say we've had discussions and I even said like it's not right that we got in a situation and this is how your family is, like that truly does side on see. We wouldn't want to see anyone have that issue and I truly apologize for that. I'm new to it. I wish I would have been a part of this contract or seen the financials a year ago when they stepped in. I mean, we've had conversations before. When you came here about stepping in just personally, in my opinions, and like I'm sorry that you did get drug into how this ended, and I'm sorry that this is kind of like where we're balancing. As a financial standpoint now, just with what we've been seeing, like, I don't see a change soon. And I know that's not what you want to hear, but I don't think anyone's even giving you an answer as of the past few weeks at all or talking to you.
No,
So that's
there's
just
been very little transparency in the process when we started,
so.
other than asking for faith.
I think on the financial side, us knowing our financials 3 months ago versus knowing our financials now is significantly different.
And as
It
it
was
was
3
the
months
state that
ago
we've
when
been
this
in
all
the past,
started.
yeah.
So,
And everyone's been feeling it. Like everyone in this town has been feeling the dip in the past 3 to 4 months. Like you said, oil's oil, oil's oil.
I mean, even on the club side, right? When we looked at our P&L 3 months ago, it did not look like, or maybe we didn't understand it as much as we do now.
Was I would say there was no
There's
more
no forecast.
forecast.
To show that this is where we were going to be sitting at today.
3 months ago, we thought, okay, looks good to go. Like, this is what we can afford. We said, yeah, that's what we can afford.
And again, I'm still
Now,
thinking
right now,
about it, yeah.
that is significantly different, right? And
Right.
next month, somebody could donate $3 million in the endowment fund, and guess what? Now we can sustainably afford, you know.
That'd be
It's not, well, so the endowment fund, right, you can pull the interest off of it, and and spend that, right? Well, to a point, or, you know, we could have a huge donation and then bam, we can set aside money and that's, you know, we could have it. Do I see somebody coming in donating a pile of
And I
cash?
think like financially, we definitely have to organize our P's and Q's because it's not been, it's been for a
We have
while.
to figure out ways to not rely on.
That's exactly.
Correct, we should not rely on
We need to
donations.
find sustainable every year that wasn't what we had.
Yeah,
Where we thought we had one thing and it come out.
and again, we see, you know, we see how, and I'm, you know, I'm thankful that we have bigger terms, but we see how fast the turnover rate is for these board members, and this is also like the situation we got ourselves in as a club altogether. So like, I'm very hopeful for the 3 to 4 year terms to hopefully get where we can be.
I can say as a 1 year board member, right, my first year, I learned a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And to think that before we get 2 year terms, right, I'd be getting off at the end of next year, how much good did I actually do, or how much did I actually change? Right, with the 3 year terms or something, you guys have 4 year terms, it's gonna be significantly better.
Right, which would be nice to like get back into like having the main point person that's consistently, you know.
Well, and everything we're doing with SharePoints and everything else.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly,
that's
we're
better.
moving into that
For
direction.
everybody and going forward.
I'll circle it back.
All right. Any more discussion, comments? And grab thoughts on?
I don't next meeting, Dave. We'll schedule this meeting.
Yeah, we don't need anything on that. We shoot for second Tuesday.
That's Tuesday.
12.
I am in Fargo for work. I can.
Teams in.
That is absolutely fine.
What, are you there all week?
I leave Monday, I get back Thursday, and then have preschool graduation that night, so. I can teams in, I'll do Jerry go to work sometime.
I mean, is it dead set on the second week? Do you want to push it to the 21st or?
What,
And end.
I don't.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong, yeah.
I don't,
With only one not being able to be here.
yeah, I don't want it to
Busy.
We don't postpone meetings for one person. She just-
No.
If 4 were able to be here.
I'll teams in, or if somebody wants to put me on
Okay.
speakerphone, whatever, I
45
mean,
to go.
I'll,
Yes.
yeah,
4 to go.
yeah.
6 o'clock?
I'll be present.
You guys want to go
6. I mean, I'd be okay with 5 if you guys want to switch to 5.
Oh, no, that goes in,
You show me how to do it.
okay.
I'll figure it
You
out.
showed me.
Yeah.
Do we want
Anybody wants to move this up an hour?
I'll-
do we want to switch to 5?
Do we need to? 5? No? You're the only one?
Then I'll be late there, got a meeting for
5:30?
May, June, and July.
5:45?
I don't
Do you
think baseball
have,
practice till
oh,
5:30.
I say, do you have golf?
That's
their place.
Hey, guess what, you have
Okay,
a
so
co-coach
sure,
that
sure,
can
sure.
take over,
Well,
say
hopefully
your
our
board
boys
meeting,
will
the Wednesday.
Somebody's coaching
Well,
soccer.
and if we can work through SharePoint and see what everybody's working on, that should be a lot easier to do for meetings.
The SharePoint.
Yeah.
Well, once we have everything, we knew this was gonna be a long meeting, just because there's a lot to figure out. Next meeting, everything should be submitted beforehand, you look at it before the meeting, and then it's a discussion and a vote.
Yep.
So. Let's get back to 1996.
The 90s.
Any other discussion?
No, I'll motion to adjourn.
I will second the motion to adjourn.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
So mad I brought this up. I know. Well, you had it wrapped around all nicely. I even grabbed it. I went back to the house and grabbed my sweater just for that purpose. like our door stuff.
Green is good.
I think it's been red the whole time. When I came over, it
Honey,
said,
green is off.
okay, so it lost connection to it at some point. It wants to download something.